and reviews, and it's covered by fair use. Fair use. Fair use.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fire.
With the Retro Rangers, Retro Rangers, Retro Rangers, Retro Rangers,
Greetings! Hello, Retro Rangers. I'm Captain John. Welcome to the show where we look back at old video clips, at least until YouTube kicks us off the air, because that happens way too often. So this will be our last clip show. Ever? I don't know. But boy, this is our last show for a while. And when I say ours and we and all this, it's not just me. It is my fantastic co-leader, my co-producer, and my very good friend, Joe Townsel. Commander Joe, welcome aboard.
Well, thank you, Captain John. Such a pleasure to be here as always. And you know, it's been a challenging one getting this one to streaming, but I think with your efforts on crash testing, as we call it, we'll be successful. And not only that, but not only is our season finale, but it's also our 50th episode of Retro Rangers. So there is indeed cause for celebration.
The 50th anniversary of this show, the golden anniversary, and of course, a woman who has been with us through so many ups and downs is our special guest tonight. And let's welcome in the queen of the Retro Rangers, ladies and gentlemen. It is Diana J. Brodie.
Hello. Hello. I am so honored to be a part of the 50th celebration. This is my favorite. You know, I love you guys so much. So this is just a massive honor for me. So thank you so much.
I should also mention and give credit where credit is due. Whoops, hang on. Didn't realize my mic was doing that. That this theme was Diana's choice. This was something that she wanted to do, and it's a great theme to look back. Game shows.
Problematic for the crash test, but good theme nonetheless.
Well, all clips are potentially problematic. So
here's the thing. YouTube will let you upload a video and you can have all kinds of clips in it. You can do all kinds of things with it if you upload it and get it through their various gatekeeping algorithms. However, if you live stream the way we do, completely different set of algorithms, things that are already on YouTube and have been on YouTube maybe for more than a decade, those things are suddenly illegal and suddenly will get us kicked off the air. And it's usually funny because we're usually still performing. And then we look at the chat, and we love you in the chat. Say whatever you want and say it at any point. We'll look at the chat, and the chat will be like, you guys are off the air. Do they know they're off the air? Like, we can't see you guys. I'm just typing into a blank screen right now. It's a wild show for that reason, because, and we keep mentioning the crash test. What I do is I have burner accounts. I should never admit to this. I have burner accounts, and I show our clips streaming to no one. They streamed absolutely no one sees them. I have 0 followers on these accounts, and I will still get, kicked off the air. That happened yesterday. And then they'll say, like, you have a strike on your account. And I'm like, I'm just playing YouTube videos, YouTube. But it is a different set of, gatekeepers. So that is our situation. However, the clips that we managed to get through the crash testing are still really good. I think everybody's going to have a good time watching these clips. It isn't every clip we wanted, but it's a lot of clips we liked. And some of these are very entertaining and revealing. And you might even see a couple of clips that you've heard of. And Chris Rulebeck, where are you? There you are. Chris, yes, your clip got through. Chris was on Wheel of Fortune.
Yes.
Oh, that's gonna be great.
Joe, it was San Diego week.
Really?
Did you know that part?
Where was
Yeah.
I?
Where were you? And so, Chris, we will have your episode. We won't watch the whole thing, but we will have it later. And
I know where I was. I was there turning the letters.
John Atkinson, so good to have you with us. He says the gatekeepers are now exceeding the intent of the programmers. We've lost control. So true. And was it worth it, John, just to be able to have a robot write your theme music? Yeah, it was totally.
Yeah, it was kind of true.
Now, John, do you have the host of the crash test handy so he can take a bow for his efforts?
Well, as a matter of fact, I do. Folks,
There he is.
Because I don't go on camera for the crash test. No Breaks Shake does it. And yeah. Thank you, Joe. That's a gift from Joe Townsel, by the way, folks.
Well, I was delighted to give it to you and wanted Diana, and I just wanted him to take a bow for his hosting of the crash test episodes.
As he should. By the way, I tried to find a clip of, I didn't think it would pass the crash test anyway, because it was just from 2020, but I was on Masterminds, was my my big game show appearance. And I tried to find that clip. It aired coincidentally on my birthday in 2021. And I could find a reference to it on some website from Brigham Young University.
Oh my gosh.
But I couldn't find the actual clip. And then people have compiled a bunch of old masterminds. And I tried to go through it and find it. And then I was like, it's not going to pass the crash test anyway. But I got to compete against Ken Jennings. And so that was really the reason I went on it. But I was
God damn.
Yeah.
Well, Brodie, if you find it, put it in the comments and we can direct people to that.
I mean, I just couldn't find Barry Cordman, Barry the K. Welcome.
What a handsome guy.
Such a good guy.
So now I should say that David, I missed this at first, but here it is. Throwing a question out there. The Mount Rushmore of game show hosts. Top 4 hosts. I throw it out there.
That's a good one.
That's a very good question. Raphael, of course, took the challenge. Raphael with the Uncle Floyd icon. He said Bob Barker. I totally agree. Bob Barker, right near the top for me. Wink Martindale. Yeah, maybe. Monty Hall. I really like Monty. Yeah, it could be. Bob Eubanks. I'm a no on Eubanks.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say no on Eubanks myself. I would put Trebek in.
Monty Hall with Alex Trebek.
Yeah.
I think Alex should be in there, and I know that had some Alex Trebek and
I would throw a Bill Cullen in. I would swap out for a Bill Cullen.
I would definitely. Yeah, I would throw a Bill Cullen in there. Bill Cullen, and we will watch a little Bill Cullen from the YouTube channel that Diana pointed me to called Bill Cullen Net, which I have to say, that's a great channel.
It's a treasure trove.
It's so great.
It's a treasure trove.
But now that I think about it, I keep coming back to Wink. I think Wink is a
from whom Wink Werberdell was born.
I think there are certain game show hosts who were game show hosts. They weren't guys doing other things. They were very much game show hosts. So hey, everybody, feel free to keep
Hugh Downs.
I mean, Pat Sajak failed at things that weren't game show hosts, so he's kind of game show host.
Yeah.
He tried stuff, it didn't pan out.
Well, Dawson's a classic, but just for the one game show. I mean, if you're going to say hosts of all times, I would say you would have to have more than one game show. I mean, he was a great panelist on Match Game, but he was not the host of Match Game, just of The Feud, but he did really make that show.
Yeah, Richard Dawson. Give me a kiss, baby.
David, that's a great question. Oh, Bert Convy, Tony, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Bert Convy was strong. I mean, I know he was an actor, but Bert, and by the way, I got kicked off the air for Tattletales. So that will not be showing up.
That
We
hurts. That one hurts. I'm not going to
We
lie.
got kicked hard with that one.
Can I just give props to Bert Convy in the Roger Corman movie Bucket of Blood, which is my favorite Roger Corman movie.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
You gotta see it.
Yes. Bucket of Blood is routinely suggested as a public domain horror movie. That might show up on season 3 of Retro Rangers.
Oh,
I think it's more than a mic.
Please.
Well,
I would love to be on for
doubt.
that one. That's like my all-time favorite. Amy points out, the woman who did Weakest Link, was that Meredith Vieira?
Oh,
yes.
She was great.
It was a short, kind of flash in the pan comparatively, but she was good. I liked her.
I mean, I hate to be a name dropper, but I am friends with Jane Lynch, and
she's great. Yeah.
So she was terrific. I always liked her. Yes. If you want to see really good big screen Bert Convy, semi-tough. He plays basically the founder of Est. It's called Beat. He
would be perfect for that role too. His hair, I can see him in a turtleneck with like a medallion. I mean, he fits it to the T.
He was doing Smarm like nobody could do Smarm. He was really good in that movie. Folks, should we start watching some clips?
Let's do it.
Yes.
Let's bury the K. Can we add Gene Shalit just for fun?
Of course. You can always add Gene Shalit for fun.
When is it not appropriate to add Gene Shalit?
I mean, he claimed to not understand the movie Brokeback Mountain, but other than that, Gene Shalit, I don't get it.
There's not to understand.
I feel like you get it, Gene. I feel like you get it
Gene,
pretty well.
I'm not so sure about that. Let's start with this clip that Joe found us. Johnny Carson had his own game show. What can you tell us about this, Mr. Townsel?
Not much. I just found Johnny Carson.
Is that Betty White?
Here's my description of it. Johnny Carson goofs up an old TV commercial on his TV show. Who do you trust? It is hilarious screw up on his part. He could not get through that commercial.
It's very Larry Sanders, and
yes.
When you see the whole thing. Right at the end, watch for a surprise guest. It's fantastic. This is a great clip. Thank you, Joe. And here we go. This is our first clip. Feel free to talk. We are trying to transform this situation that makes fair use. And here we go.
I mean, the comedy is visual anyway when we get to it.
$500, okay? Right now, it's a shame that this show isn't in color. We're not too sure that it's even in black and white, but that's not your problem. It's too bad it isn't in color because here's...
How young is he?
He's got to be 25 years old.
This is pineapple strawberry pudding. Now, this is another terrific busy day dessert made with our old favorite Jell-O instant pudding. Remember, it's quick to make.
Really busy because he cannot do this.
Positively no cooking, as you know. It is ready in minutes. You simply pour 2 cups of cold milk into a bowl and add 1 package of strawberry
Reminds
Jell-O.
me of Vitamin Benjamin.
Yeah.
Strawberry Jell-O instant pudding. Don't put the cellophane wrapper in. It makes it a little gummy. Then you add just a dash of salt.
Jeez.
And you beat just until it's well blended. It takes you about a minute.
How many suits did he go through in rehearsal?
Add 1 cup. If you have a cup in the house, add that. It doesn't make it. Add 1 cup of crushed pineapple, which has been well drained.
I love
kind
that.
of
Like that.
You kind of miss these things. They just walk across the stage, do a commercial.
You just add that in there like that. Now what you do?
That lavalier is as big as today's boom.
Pineapple. What you do? You don't add the pineapple, friends. That's in bad taste. You just you alternate layers of the pudding with the pineapple in the sherbet glasses. So don't put the pineapple in. That stays to one side. And then when you finish, you can top it off with whipped cream. And there you have it. It looks great. Not like I made it, but it does look great. And it'll taste even better. It's another great busy day dessert made in minutes with wonderful Jell-O instant pudding. Get some for my sake
Actually-
next time you shop.
Look, you can see it on his face. He's like, well, that's over, thank God.
I'll stay at the office.
Now, don't we have people for this? Oh, there's Ed.
Oh, there's Ed.
We're in a lot of trouble, I think. It's a great product, though.
No, I mean, Amy Lopress brings up a really interesting point, where they had back in old TV, like in old radio, they sort of just worked the commercials right in. And there's sort of a return to that. If you think about it, I mean, this channel is not monetized. This is not monetized. But on monetized, I just want to repeat that for the algorithm. We are not monetized. If it was I say we, they're not if it was monetized, though, they would just sort of seamlessly work that, that product placement into, or maybe sometimes not so seamlessly, into whatever the YouTube podcast or whatever is.
No, I agree with you, Brodie, that it is making a comeback as far as just gliding right into the commercial. Because I'll just say this: if you just need to take a break from laughing at game show clips, visit joetownsel.com. Great stuff there. And now back
That
to our
was
show.
seamless, almost
Is that seamless?
imperceptible.
The way I always justify that is we are non-monetized. The joetownsel.com mentions are because I don't pay him anything. It's in place of zero. So it's not like he's getting any value. I don't give him anything. So that's where we are with that. Okay, this is a great clip. You can see the title on the screen, but Brodie, you found this. This was What's My Line from 1955. So Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz are big TV stars at this point.
Right.
Their show is a big hit. And What's My Line? Okay, can I just say, I loved this show so much. That's right. That is right.
John Daly.
That is the great John Daly. As a matter of fact, I'm going to roll it back a little bit so that you can see the end of the previous segment, because it is dynamite. It is some good Daly. None of us are monetized. And then Raphael says, no queen for a day. I beg your pardon. We have Brodie. She is our queen for the day. And every day. So here we go. I've got to roll it back just a little smidge. I didn't really pay much attention because I was busy with other things, but I think you'll see what this guy does. You'll actually see it happen.
All this time, have you succeeded in lifting something from John?
No, not yet. Why should I?
The guy's a pickpocket.
Well, Mr. Perry, thank you very much. It's been great having you. Your book.
Now, I believe unrehearsed because John Daly seemed so embarrassed. Pickpocket man.
Spontaneous, I think.
In just a moment, we'll meet tonight's mystery guest. To the special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery celebrity, for which my friends are blindfolded.
I always loved this show because it had that air of New York sophistication to it.
Really, really does show East Coast elite in like that. It defines that phrase for me. When you see them and they're dressed to the nines, and Kitty Carlisle always has diamonds and everything on.
Yes, Kitty Carlisle, who was an actress, a stage actress. She was in Marx Brothers, Night at the Opera, but she married Moss Hart.
Yes, correct. That is correct.
And they were a fabulous couple. And she very much became a society lady. Of course, Dorothy Kilgallen.
Oh, Dorothy Kilgallen. Oh, and Arlene Francis. I guess. Yeah. I'm sorry. Was To Tell the Truth is Kitty Carlisle.
Oh, am I? Yeah,
Arlene. That's my mistake. Arlene Francis is To Tell the Truth, or is to What's My Line?
Yeah, that's right, Raphael. Even the audience is dressed up. This was, you're going to see this on a lot of the black and white shows.
Well, it was an
People
event.
were-
It was a night out in the
Yeah.
town, and
Yes,
flying was a very luxurious experience.
they would
Well into the
usually
70s.
shoot in a theater.
Yeah.
So theater seating, theater rules, black tie.
By that I mean of the female persuasion.
Yeah, I think so.
I like how they're disguising the voices.
Yeah.
I'd like to point out that, by the way, Kitty Carlisle is the name of my brother's cat.
It's a great name for a cat.
Also in television. And,
She is a kitty.
let me rephrase my first question, because this got an unusual answer. Could we have seen you on television earlier today?
That was yes.
That was
Francis?
the before.
I still don't
Was this
understand.
taped on a
Only
Monday?
now it's not a ball player. I don't think. Are you here in New York just for the World Series?
No.
2008 to go, Mr. Sir.
Now, of course, the questioners think there's one guest. I think that's a problem.
Right.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Miss Gilgallen.
I'm sorry. She sounds like
Have you
Lucille
ever made any
McGillicuddy.
records where you sang?
No.
3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Lewis.
What does he have?
But I did see you earlier on television today. And it was very good. Should I disqualify myself, John? Because this ridiculous question, I
But no, there's no
disqualify
reason.
myself. I know who it is. I know who it is.
Take a guess.
I know who it is.
Well, say it. That's what you're
The world's greatest comedian, Lucille Ball.
Oh, we didn't get both.
I don't know.
Is that right?
Mm-mm.
Oh, uh-oh.
I almost took my neck.
Oh, that's unfair.
It's not.
4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Francis.
You sure it's not Duke Snyder?
Not Desi Arnaz. You say that you're married. Is the man that you're married to also in the picture business?
Yeah.
Mr. Sir?
Can I take a wild guess? Probably not. Are you
Sure.
Loren Bacall?
Loren? Oh, for heaven's sake. There you go. 5 down and 5 to go, Mr.
That's
Gilgallen.
Bennett Surf. John asked. Yeah.
Are you the voluptuous blonde type?
I don't think so.
Richard,
This
that
is
is
a
a
rumor.
6 down and 4 to go, Mr. Lewis.
Are you sure I saw you on television?
Yeah, I won't let that count as a question,
All
but
right,
you are
thank
reassured.
you. Do you have anything to do with the program, with the Lucy show?
Mm-hmm.
Miss Francis?
It's not Desi Arnaz.
Oh, they're gonna feel so foolish.
You're on I Love Lucy?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is that the question that Bob just asked?
Yeah.
Well, the question was, do you have anything to do with the I Love Lucy show?
She doesn't sound like a stagehand.
Are you Lucy's girlfriend?
Mm-mm.
Hey, Vivian Van.
6 down and 4 to go, Mr. Sir.
It's both of them.
Oh,
Oh, he screwed up?
was that Arlene? There's that Dorothy. I think that's Arlene. Well done, Arlene Francis.
Arlene Francis for the win.
We didn't hear Desi at all.
Yeah, that was me.
That was you.
Which one was that?
When I-
so much fun.
Swedish one, and I was like,
And you see, Swedish.
I'm sorry, Diana. Diana.
Yeah.
Well, you had some kind of an accent, didn't you?
Yeah.
What, Swedish?
Swedish.
What is Swedish?
Cuban sweet.
Cuban Swedish.
Is that a dirty trick?
Yeah, it's pretty dirty.
But I'm sure you don't mind it. Because one reason, actually, that Desi and Miss Lucille are here is tomorrow night's a happy night when you all come back for the new season at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, but that's not really the reason. The reason is that we love you so very, very much, and every time we get to New York, we love to visit with you.
Oh, that's nice
Very
of you to
sweet.
say.
Well,
We
were you
never
on
miss you, and
television
we-
today?
What, darling?
Were you on television today?
Briefly,
Yeah,
Ed Sullivan.
we just went over and took a look at Ed's show.
Oh,
You were
Ed
on at
Sullivan.
6 o'clock, New York Times.
Oh, that's right, the Lucy Sunday
Very
show.
funny. Watch
That's
it
right.
sometime. It's very funny.
The Lucy Show. CBS.
That's funny that they didn't know that I Love Lucy was on earlier that night because Desi and Lucy were West Coast.
Oh,
Right.
And
Oh, I
they
see
didn't know
that
the East
now.
Coast.
Yeah, because I believe Sullivan was on Sundays and they were on Mondays.
And there were no reruns back then.
No, is Mark good?
No, but
Not yet, I
because-
don't think.
Well, no, I Love Lucy was on 35 millimeter.
Oh, that's
Uh,
right. Oh, that's right.
Well,
So
Yeah.
they would shoot, and then I believe there'd be a week, and then they would air it.
All right.
We've had as much fun this time, and we hope.
And with the
but it
reusable
was-
footage, I mean, they kind of invented the rerun a little bit later.
Bennett,
Yeah,
Bennett. Oh, sorry, John.
no,
Bennett
I was
Cerf is
just gonna say, when I did the Lucy radio show on Web of Mystery, I actually learned a whole bunch of stuff. And one of the things was that they didn't want to leave the West Coast. Ricky and Desi and Lucy loved living on the West Coast, so they had to change how things were done. Normally, you would move to New York to do your show, so that then things would happen in the right order. But if you originated from the West Coast, you had to use kinescopes.
Yeah.
And they were the first ones to use actual film, even though it was expensive. And since they laid out their own money to do that, they owned their own show. The network got to borrow the films, but they ended up actually renting the films from from Lucy and Desi, the network. And that's how they made all their money. And that's how I Love Lucy exists to this very day, is this beautiful, watchable show, not an ugly kinescope. It's, big credit to them.
It's amazing. And so it's fiscally very smart, because then once there was syndication and there were reruns, that's where they really made a bunch of bank. And that's how they were able to bring us Star Trek and all the other, from Desilu Productions. Like, so much came from that. I just want to mention something super quickly about the panel. First of all, Bennett Cerf was a publisher, and I had all his kids' joke books as a kid that I would read. Bennett Cerf's joke books. There were many versions of them.
Oh my God.
But it's because of Bennett Cerf that I was a huge New York, then for them, New York Giants fan. For me, San Francisco Giants fan, because I saw Willie Mays on What's My Line. And I remember asking my dad, it's like the old rerun at 3:00 in the afternoon or something. And I remember asking my dad, who's that guy? It was Willie Mays. And he said, it was Willie Mays. He's a baseball player. And Bennett Cerf was a huge New York Giants fan. Yeah, John, good point. So when Willie Mays was on, Bennett was just kind of over the moon about that. And I was so impressed with Willie Mays on this show that I just became a Giants fan all the way back then as a little kid, even though I grew up in Philly.
Here, I'll put it up.
I'm like, what is my brother?
Random weird thing. Part of the backstory for I Love Lucy was that Ricky had a hit song called, as I heard it, Bubaloo. Actually, the title of the song was Babalu, the name of a demon in Santeria.
Oh, I don't think I ever even knew that it was the name of a demon.
God, so Desi was like summoning forth Satan.
So Raphael, who is Puerto Rican, was like, "Yep, you're right, Fred." Holy cow! Giants fan.
I also want to do a tip of the hat to Dorothy Kilgallen super quickly before we move on. I think someone mentioned it. It might have been Chris. She was a journalist, and she was investigating the Kennedy assassination. Yeah. It was my brother, of course. Thank you, Fred. And she, her death was officially attributed to like barbiturates and alcohol, I think, but it was to this day, there's still a controversy. I mean, there's less of a controversy as almost nobody knows of her now, but the controversy continues that it largely speculative, but they believe it was because of the Kennedy assassination investigation that she was doing was getting too close to something. And off she went because she was fine and she was not known as a big drinker or a big barbiturate taker or any of that.
Right.
So it was a very weird pronouncement for her death.
Take this as a piece of folklore. I can't point to it in a book, but I swear I read that she was found in bed with a book and not her reading glasses. And it was one of those like, sure, it's natural causes, or sure, it's an overdose, because it looked really staged. But that, I'm just telling you what I heard.
Yeah. Rumor has it. But yeah, I love the show. I Passed to Arlene is like, still people from my generation and older, of course, will still say this when someone asks a question and someone doesn't know. They'd be like, I passed to Arlene. But it's a classic. So we had to see something from it. And because I know John was doing Lucy for Webbo Mystery, I thought that's why I went and I found this clip from West My Line.
That's all. And I love to see them still married, and I love to see them happy.
Yeah.
I mean, those are days that I valued from my childhood.
And they were still good friends to when Desi passed away. Lucy was talking to him on the phone moments before he died. So
I didn't know that.
That's true.
They were very concerned parents too. They were good parents from everything I've heard.
Yeah.
And grandparents.
Good point, Joe.
Yeah. I'm done spending. I just remembering some footage from a documentary I saw many years ago showing the two of them as elderly people playing with their grandchild in the pool.
With Desi Jr.
Yes. Desiderio the third.
So Joe, you chose the show 21.
Yes.
We do have the entire episode, but we're just going to watch. I think you said you wanted to go through the beginning.
Well, I think the meat of it's the beginning. I'm sure everyone here and in our audience is familiar with this true situation, as we're about to see later memorialized and semi-documented in the movie Quiz Show. But yes, this is the scandal that almost brought it all down.
I remember the first time I ever heard of this scandal was I used to love the show Joker's Wild.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I think it was called The Joker is Wild. Let me do that right. And is it Jack Burns? What's this guy's name? My mom was like, wait, they're letting him do game shows again? I thought he was outlawed from doing game shows. Apparently not. So here we go. Let's just watch it. He'll tell us his name.
Tonight here on 21, Herbert Stemple, our 29-year-old GI college student, can win $111,500, the highest amount of money ever to be won on television.
Yeah.
But to do this, he's risking much of the money he has won thus far. So right now, let's meet our first two players as Geritol, America's #1 tonic, presents
appropriate
21.
sponsor.
Now that we're all old enough for Geritol, why aren't we all taking Geritol?
Good question.
From Forest Hills, New York, Mr.
You watch this, you can see how well cast the movie was.
John Turturro does not get enough credit for how great he was.
So good.
Your two smiling faces here tonight after that hectic battle you were involved in last week. I'm sure we're in for tremendous excitement here in the program. How are you tonight,
take a
Mr.
dive.
Miller? I'm all right. You're okay? Yeah. And Herb, you got your $69,500 riding here at stake. How do you feel? Okay? That's fine, thank you. Good enough. Herb, there has been some question raised as to whether or not you knew before going into this game that should there be tie games occur, as they have, that so much more of your money would be risked. I mean, for instance, right now we're going to be playing for $2,000 a point. Were you aware that this would happen, could happen?
Sure I was, Mr. Barry. I knew it all along since I've been
Gene Barry.
to start with. And
Something Barry. Jack Barry?
Tie games, one with Dr. Caballo.
That's right, you did.
Also with this Miss Strong.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I'm putting an awful lot of money
Turtle's a
on
scam
the line.
too?
I'm certainly risking an awful lot of money, but by the same token, I can win a lot of money too, which is also very important.
Yes, indeed you can. You can win or lose a lot. All I wanted to make perfectly clear was that you knew certainly that this could possibly happen. You had no way to know that it would happen, but that it could possibly happen, as it did with Dr. Carballo.
That is right, Mr. Barry.
Right, Herb, but I hope we cleared that up for some of the viewers who have wondered about it. And if you two fellows are ready,
Thank you for lying, Herb.
once again that tonight it'll be the biggest game we've ever played here in the
Well, you
program.
know how comfortable the poor guy
$2,000
is.
a point. Be very, very careful before you answer. Take your time, and the very, very best of luck to both of you.
We do need to think about the name. Geriatric alcohol, basically.
Now I'm tempted to go over there. That's just some good
Neither player
xylophone
inside
right
the
there.
studios can hear anything until I turn their studios on with switches which I control right here in front of me, nor can they see anybody in the television studio audience because of the way the lights are constructed. Can you hear me, Mr. Van Doren?
Yes, I can.
Very good. I have your studio on. Your studio's on, Herb. Can you hear me?
I feel like I
Yes,
run
I
into
can.
milk
All
and
right. Now we're going to
magnesium.
go on
now
trying
and
to get 21. I'll be back to you in just a moment, Herb.
Spoiler
Mr. Van Doren, I
alert,
guess
the
you know pretty
Jew
well
always
how to play
loses
this
to the
game. You gotta try to
Gentile.
score 21 points. You do it by
My
answering
favorite
questions that
line
have a
from
point
Quiz
value
Show.
from 1 to 11.
Well, I
With
mean,
high
that's
point
pretty much what
questions.
it was.
Yes,
You
preacher.
want to get a handsome guy in there as compared to poor Mr. Stimple.
1 to 11.
I mean, you know, we've got to be honest and say that broadcasting really, really favored the WASP. Even
I would argue still does.
and I would not be able to argue very hard against that point. It was seen everywhere. Like Jack Benny would sometimes pass himself off as Irish, which, you know, hey, anybody wants to be Irish, be Irish.
Top of the morning, Mr. Benny.
Well, and the thing that just made it so unbelievable, I know this from Quiz Show, is that Stimple was so brilliant up to this point, and suddenly he couldn't recall the name of the previous year's Best Picture winner.
Which, as we know from the script of Quiz Show, was one of his favorite movies. And
And
actually,
it was so wildly popular that it was like just laughable that he would not remember Marty.
Mm-hmm.
So,
he looks like Marty.
He does kind of look like
Or
Marty.
looks like Ernest Borgnine anyway.
Yeah.
So this one's a little depressing. So you feel like have we covered?
I think the point is made. We could, you know, I just wanted everybody to see this poor guy, you know, knowing it's in his head at this point in history. Oh.
I just want to bring up a point that may bridge for you, that may work as a segue for you, John. It might not, but it could.
We'll try.
It's because of the Quiz Show scandal, this one being the biggest of all of them, I believe, but there are others certainly as well, that Mark Goodson and Bill Todman, my generation grew up on sick days watching all of their stuff. They were considered so safe and so mainstream, and their game shows were so obviously not rigged that they really took over. I mean, they started in 1948, Goodson Todman, so they were super early. Right. And they're I've got some notes here. They're so many, but The Price is Right, Family Feud, Match Game, Password, What's My Line, Tell the Truth, all Goodson Todman, and they just like gangbusters coming out of the scandals, the Quiz Show scandals. They became the go-to guys and amassed a small fortune doing that.
They are so powerful that it's really hard to show their clips, but every once in a while there will be a show that apparently they didn't, put all the armor on. And I think that might get us to this next one that Diana chose. This is from a show called Phew.
Oh my God.
So
I believe this show is early 80s, and it is one of my least favorite game shows ever. And I just had to show it because nobody knows it, and it's so weird. It's such a weird, and it was so boring. I mean, it was unrelentingly boring as a game show, but it was so weird that I thought, let's watch it. Let's watch a little bit of it.
So we're going to skip through. Diana has curated some clips here. I never heard of this show.
Nor had I.
So let's
just
take
me.
a look.
I think they made it just for me, and I hated it. But I watched almost every episode of it. First of all, can we just all agree that Whew, WHEW, which they pronounce few, and don't spell it with the P, is probably the worst name for anything on TV ever.
Well, it's between expressing relief and, sensing something stinky. I mean, it's two entirely different words.
Right. Woo or few.
I think the whole problem started because no one talked to Johnny Olson, who is the announcer. So let's hear how Johnny kicks off this show.
Okay. All right.
Close calls.
Close calls, huh?
Narrow escapes. Split-second decisions. And $25,000 in cash. A combination guaranteed to make you say, shoo. And now, here's the host of our show, Thank you very much.
No, but and that is the way it is said for the whole run. That ran for one season, and then they rebooted it with Celebrity Phew Shoo, however you want to pronounce it, and that was minorly more interesting, but not really. It really stank. The whole game show just stank.
Oh,
the Rebus Puzzles wasn't that's not concentration.
That
was
is
it?
concentration.
Was that concentration?
Yeah, basically what we had a clip of concentration, and unfortunately the video quality was so bad that it made it look like people were cheating. So we couldn't use it. It was like, take a look at the board, and then you look at the board and the whole picture would go like back to woman, she'd be like, doctor with an apple. I don't know.
But guys, on the plus side, I mean, you got to admire, the double-breasted sports coat, the big wide tie,
right?
Your 70s, so
it's just classic. It's just, and Tom Kennedy, I mean, just classic.
Here's my problem with Tom Kennedy. What a jock! This guy always seemed like I wish I was doing sports. I could be wrong.
I have a feeling he was shoving kids into lockers in high school. I can see him doing that.
Frederick, Bud Collier may have been super early, but the host of Concentration I remember was Art Fleming,
and followed by Alex Trebek. He hosted a reboot. Bud Collier did do To Tell the Truth, but I think he got sick, and when got him blocking on his name, Gary Moore took over To Tell the Truth. Gary actually called Bud Collier up to make sure it was okay with him, and he said, "Hey, I'm not feeling well. You go and do it. I can't do it anymore."
Oh wow!
So I don't want to gloss over a Brodie tidbit. So you're telling me that Trebek followed Fleming on both Concentration and Jeopardy?
Gosh, yeah, I guess that's true.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
that makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it's wild.
So we don't have to watch the general gameplay, but I did believe I sent you another clip of this. Yes. That's just the end speed round. So this is like, so you go through this entirely boring gameplay, and it's so boring I don't even want to show it to you. Right. And then here's the like the bonus round, and you have to go through what they call the gauntlet, and yeah.
All while not being distracted by Candy's jacket.
Right.
I do want to say welcome, Ikun. And yeah, they were throwing crap at the wall. Yeah, they
Yeah,
definitely were.
clearly.
I will take this correction from John Atkinson because he's brilliant and he is right. Hugh Downs was from Concentration. I kept wondering, like, how do I know who Hugh Downs was? That was my Christmas vacation, or I'm staying home sick. That was my favorite one, was Concentration.
And did Hugh Downs go on to do 2020 in the
He
early years of 2020? Yeah.
He was the first host.
Right.
And was it just him, or was it him and Barbara?
Well, I think he was like the host, but of course there are others, you know.
And Barbara did segments.
Yeah.
I think
Maybe.
That's my recollection.
Those
Never
are
mind.
lapels. Oh my
You can
God.
really
That
grab
Taylor,
one.
that Taylor, he really hurt my pride. He made my lapels an inch too wide. My Taylor, he takes the money and runs to Venezuela.
What's that from?
This is Alan Sherman. I sort of butchered it. This is an Alan Sherman take of Matilda to My Taylor. My Zelda, she take the money and run with the Taylor. That was it. Thank you, David. Yeah, My Zelda.
Okay, here we go.
Not dismiss, prematurely the contestants' turquoise jacket and pink dress shirt. That's pretty
Right.
solid, too.
It's very Miami Vice, pre-Miami Vice colors.
This is our champion, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ken Freehill.
Speed round.
Incidentally, Annie
Hey,
did say
Ken
wedding
Freehill.
ring, but that was after her 2 seconds had expired.
Someone's got to get the
Also, as I
makeup
told
girl
Annie,
on
I
this
called
set
her
and dab
on
those
6 level,
foreheads.
And the 5 seconds was talked about.
It's high pressure, John.
Ken Freehill, I want to introduce you to
I think Tom
of
Kennedy
the most
started
rock
drinking by the
wretches who
time this
ever
game show
stepped
came on the
between
air.
a contestant and
I
the
feel
money,
like he's
and
drunk
here
on
they
every
are.
episode of this.
I mean, not as a result of the show.
I feel, might have been.
I feel
What
like
in the world?
Tom and like Joe Garagiola were like out by the freight elevator, wigging out of their flasks.
And I know they look really
I
fierce.
believe
but
that's true.
If you can get from villain number 1 through villain number 10, then you will win $25,000.
So now you're seeing from the
in
cartoon
cash.
open.
How much time do you
Here's
have? 60
here's the
seconds plus 1
scary
second for each
gauntlet
$100
of
you earned so far.
characters.
Now, between charging and
Oh,
blocking,
I hope I
you
don't
won
get caught by Nero.
$1,120, which means you're going to have 11 seconds added.
Wouldn't it
to
be funny
your basic
if the
60
guy with
seconds for
the
a total
hatchet
of
actually got him?
71 seconds
Right in the head.
to beat the villain. All right. And now
Here's the thing. You think that this was like high tech for back in the day, but I remember watching this and thinking, this is the lowest, ugliest. I mean, look at it.
Got it. But if the villain beats
It's
you
like
in the
someone
end, then
just
you have to
jammed
stay
a
with him
TV
for
in the
as many
chest.
bloopers
It,
as
there's
it
just
takes to
no,
beat that villain. If you
there's
can
no
get
nuance here.
all
I like
10
that the
villains
art
before time
department
runs
put
out,
some
you
work
will
in, though.
win
Yeah. The art department did it in about an hour and then said, we're out. We got other things to do.
Gather up the kids' drawings of these villains.
And we don't even have to watch the whole gauntlet, honestly.
Ben Franklin wrote Poor Richard's Maniac. Almanac. On 8 is Enough, the father is played by Dick Van Dyke.
Oh, God.
Oh, so he's saying wrong things. The guy has to say them right.
Oil paints are made by mixing oil with vinegar.
No, pastels, I don't know.
The Hawaiian Islands were discovered by Captain Hook.
Cook.
One of America's favorite spirituals are Swing Low, Sweet Harriet.
Chariot.
Now, do they make him?
And there's, by the way, I'm sorry, Joe, there's nothing in the monitors right now. There's no reason for the monitors.
The kangaroo.
When making an
I was just wondering if they make him take that stance every step. Was that his own idea or was that a stage direction?
That's the ooh. That's the
Vulcan.
oh from
Vulcan, of course.
Hey,
You fool. He was like the chief box in half. Something fell.
Yeah, I think Atkinson's right. An open flame would have made this all a lot better. I just why though? Why? That's my question with Woo. Why?
Well, I have to admit that I'd wear a turquoise jacket, a pink shirt, and take that stance to win $25,000. But not a penny less.
oh God, chat, you are killing me right now.
Zero purpose. Barry the K, I think they took these from temple, Har Sinai Temple in New Jersey's Purim, and just stuck him right on the stage. Pretty sure.
Oh God.
There's a salute, Trenton, New Jersey's Har Sinai Temple. I don't even know if it's still standing.
We do have one more version of this.
No, kill me now. Please, let's skip it.
Let's skip it. Okay.
Let's move right along.
The point is made.
I'm very surprised that Fremantle passed the crash test. I would think that Fremantle would have opinions about that. That's funny.
I was shocked. I was shocked. There's Fremantle. I mean, we got buzzer on the screen. Anyway, basically, I'm like 100 for 100 right now for how many times I have appealed my strikes from YouTube, and they've gone, "Oh, yeah, we looked at your stuff. Yeah, you're right. You're not breaking any rules." It's like,
but they don't tell you which one, so you have to guess later.
Now, please stop kicking me and my friends off the air.
All right. Yeah. Oh, this was right. The other clip was celebrity. Phew. But yeah, let's move on, please.
Yeah. We're moving on. I ran across this. I was looking for something else that we'll see a little later. And this is David Letterman as the celebrity on various game shows, just killing it. So here we go.
Asked your Abby for
Advice.
and you like this.
Toothpick.
And you're playing. You know what? You catch it because you follow has a schedule on it. The
bus, cab,
skip it.
elevator. Only one left. Plane.
What? Can you tell me the
time? Table.
All right, that's
$35.
Ladies and gentlemen, wake the kids, phone the neighbors.
I got it.
It's more than password. It's password plus.
I didn't know anything about password plus before I watched the clip.
David Letterman.
Come on, David. Wrap your arm around Marion Rock. When are you going to ever get
Now remember, you have 60 seconds. Ready? Go.
Jewelry.
Earring.
F. Humorous.
Funny.
H. G. Dress.
Gown.
H. Heaven.
Hell.
I. Chicago.
Illinois.
J. Horse.
Jockey.
K. Steel. Person. Hearst.
I don't know.
Okay,
Pass.
let's go.
Pass.
L. Kidney.
Liver.
M.
Amazing.
Frankenstein.
Monster.
N. Nose.
Nasal.
Opening.
Nostril.
Back to K. Crime.
Clue.
Stealing.
12 seconds. 11.
Kidnapping.
All right. Good one.
Or salad. Oh, man.
Okay, you're gonna have 60 seconds. You ready? Go.
Spread.
Mattress.
Sandwich.
Mustard. Mayonnaise.
Steel. Building. Device. Rod.
Half.
Okay. Oh.
Can you see hammer and?
Cry.
Onions.
Me. City.
Pittsburgh.
France.
Paris.
Q. Inquiry.
Question.
R. Noise.
Roar.
S. Nap.
Sleep.
T. Foot.
Toe.
U.
Sally.
Rain.
Umbrella.
B. Instrument.
Violin.
N. Screw.
Nail.
Great team.
Yes, Sally. Yes.
We shoots scores.
Letterman rocking the rugby jersey.
We watched something recently where Betty White was asked her favorite game show, and it wasn't this.
It wasn't password?
She just completely forgot about
When
it.
you go in a restaurant, you read the
Menu.
Right. And this is when you go to a drugstore, you fill
Prescription.
A, right? And this is when you graduate college, you get a
Diploma.
right? And this is when you read a play, you read a
Script.
right? And this is when you want to send somebody a message, you send it via
Telegram.
and And this
Oh, they
is
might
the
hang up
side
on
of the
that one now.
Declaration of Independence.
Thomas
the biggest,
Jefferson,
the
John
biggest
Hancock.
thing, right. And this is what you have to pay on a house.
A
20
mortgage.
year, right.
There it is.
He's great. Wow.
Yeah,
He is
nowadays if he gets
crushing
like,
it.
I don't know, email.
Derby.
Very good. All right, David. First clue on the puzzle
I didn't know Larry was
to
on
tie the game is
show.
Derby.
Derby. Charlie Chaplin.
Is it Charlie Chaplin? That makes up for
Oh, either him or Hitler.
It's so sad too that Sally's on the other side. Like they were such a good team.
Thanks for watching. Have a lovely weekend. Good night, everybody.
That was great.
Great
Man.
collection. Man, Dave was a champion there.
He was
He was
amazing.
he was really impressed with him.
So yeah, I'm taking a look at all of the all of the people playing at home. I could see he's wicked smart. I'm from New Hampshire. That's how we say
I don't know if
it.
they did it on Match Game also, but I remember making Whoopi from the Newlywed Game.
Yeah, that's where I heard it from the
Yeah.
Newlywed Game.
How many
but
times a
they
week
would-
do you make Whoopi?
Yeah, yes. But they would occasionally use that on Match Game.
I guess that was the Turn Across game show, so they can get away with it.
Exactly. I think there's a I think there would always be standards people, practice and standards people.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, standards and practice. A quick personal story. When I was on the show, the X Show, we would do our own little game show within the show. And frequently the other hosts, there were 4 of us in all, the other hosts would find a way to not be around when they assigned it. So I was almost always the game show host, which I loved. I love hosting game shows. And I had previously had a sidekick job on Game Show Network on a show called When Did That Happen?
Yeah.
Where I was the Andy, I was the Andy Richter. But when I got to host my own shows, but when we talk about standards and practice, and actually when we talk about the show 21, that created a whole bureaucracy at networks and production studios where somebody would have to be there to make sure everything was fair and on the up and up, and there was no cheating and there was nothing like that. And if you ever had to bust a take, oh boy, that was a big deal. Then each contestant would have to be taken to a quiet place where no one could hear the producers discussing like what went wrong, and nobody was given any information that might help them or hurt someone else. It was a really big deal. And so they would tell me like, hey, no pressure, but if you bust this take as we're shooting live, you will cost us tens of thousands of dollars, but no pressure.
No pressure.
And I was, I did not want to cost the show any money. So I was doing my best. Improv background really helped. Okay, where's the
I'm surprised I missed that, being someone who loves game shows. I can't believe I missed that. But I may be the only one who remembers you, and this isn't a game show, but on Women Aloud with Mo Gaffney as the man in the box.
Yes, that's right.
The man in the box.
That like I may be the only one, and I may be the only one who saw that Chicago Suns episode. So I've seen most of your appearances. I can't believe I missed like the game show where you were the sidekick.
I went looking to see if there were any clips.
Oh,
there are
you
none.
know I want to see it.
I am the king of lost media. So much of my career never got recorded or put in a library ever.
Well, I just want to make sure, clarify something for me, John.
Yeah.
Man in the box, it was referring to something made out of cardboard or along those lines, right?
They would literally put a refrigerator box over the man, and he would have like a hole. And Mo came over and she was like, you don't have a problem with people getting abortions, do you, John? Literally. And I said, well, I'm not crazy about abortion.
No, but you did say that this is the woman's decision. Like you had a really good answer for that, because I remember thinking, like when she asked you the question, I'm like, please, John,
I'm being
Don't
way
cut
too
this
kind
one.
to myself. I said, well, I'm not crazy about a barber. And then Mo Gaffney said, but you don't have any problem with people making that choice themselves. And I said, no, absolutely not. Which was so funny because Jimmy Tingle, who was a Boston comedian, and I at one point had been a Boston comedian. Jimmy Tingle was on earlier, and he was like, human beings get their own choices. And so I knew exactly the right take because Jimmy had already done it, which was, it's your choice. You're a human being. You're a person. It's your choice. I still feel that way. And frankly, it served me well in life. Okay, so we are talking a little bit about treasure hunt. I remember, was it Jeff Edwards? And he was one of those Jeffs, Geoff.
Like short for Jeffrey.
Never trust him.
Yeah,
Never trusted Jeff.
Pretty simple game show where there's a large stage with steps and they were littered with closed gift boxes, and you would choose a gift, and it would be a good one or a bad one. It was not a dynamic show, but I enjoyed it. I always liked that show.
Well, do they have like sexy women with all the gift boxes like on Deal or No Deal?
Maybe, but not like No Deal or No Deal. No, not like that.
I
But
really
yeah,
wanted to
keep them
be
time,
on
maybe.
that game show. I really, really wanted to be on that game show. When that game show was like in its heyday, I was cutting a series with the stand-up comedian Ant, who kept telling me how well he knew Howie Mandel. And I'm like, get me on Deal or No Deal.
Oh,
And he's
wow.
like, just apply. And I'm like, no, I need an in. I'm never gonna, I don't have a backstory. I'm not, I don't need like to get my grandmother an operation. Like everybody had these like big backstory. I'm not a soldier coming home from war. I need an in. You got to get me in. I said, I can count as high as those cases go. I have all the qualifications for this game show. I myself can count to at least 50. So
that is darn impressive, Diana.
Thank you.
I'm going to give everybody a little inside baseball about game shows. They have casting people. You find out who the casting people are, you get your name there. Now, one thing that might happen, it used to happen with Game Show Network, with GSN, was they were constantly begging people to be on Lingo.
Oh, God.
Lingo was almost impossible to get people on. They would take anyone on Lingo. So usually you could go in and be like, I really want to be on this show. And they're like, how about Lingo? You could go, if you put me on Lingo, I would love to be on this other show. And I knew more than a couple of people who had done that because, oh my God, they wanted people on Lingo. So there you go. Yeah, that's absolutely true.
Brodie, they're always bringing those shows back. So,
hey, listen, I've applied to many shows past Masterminds, and I actually got close on one of them. I went all the way down to LA. I was there. They had technical difficulties, and I couldn't get on that day because they were running like several hours behind as a result. So I didn't make it on. And I told them, I said, listen, I live in San Francisco. I'm not going to drive back down here. I said, is there any way you can get me on? And there wasn't. So, but so that was last year. So I'm still trying. I'm still trying for him. Damn it.
I think you are perfect. You are so perfect for game show television.
Thank you. Would tell some casting directors.
Well, I mean, I personally do pretty well at home watching on TV, but I just choke up. I mean, if you don't believe that, I mean, John Weber here has beat me at LP Barone at trivia 3 times.
It's never been fair.
What people don't understand about actually being on the game show, especially if it's a game show like Jeopardy or Masterminds, that's very Jeopardy-esque, is that buzzer is everything. And getting in on that buzzer is like, it's really like, you don't take into consideration the buzzer game before you're standing there trying to answer the few questions you happen to know.
I don't want to delay the clip too much, but
Let's go. Yeah, sorry.
No. I just have one last anecdote, and that would be, we would watch Jeopardy, and my wife and I, and she was so much faster than I was. And I would get really mad. And so I created a rule. And the rule was you have to answer in the form of a question.
Yeah, I never do.
You have to. It
Okay,
is what
John,
they're
I'm
asking
sorry.
you to do. You can't just say, you can't just say Jeffrey Hunter.
Madagascar. Yeah.
You got to say, who was Jeffrey Hunter? Okay. So here we go. We're taking a look at The Price is Right. What can you tell us about this, Ms. Brodie?
Well, the reason why I brought this clip to us is because The Price is Right, as it was conceived back in the late 50s and early 60s, even though it's similar in the fact that there are these big prizes and there are 4 contestants, it is dissimilar in every other way. There are the same 4 contestants for the whole show, with one contestant carrying over to the next episode, the winningest contestant. But they stay the whole thing, and the bidding, it's not that you just bid once, you keep bidding everybody. You go through a whole bidding round. It's really it's a much longer round. The prizes for the time period are kind of insane. Like I saw once like a single prop airplane was one of the prizes. I'm like, how much tax did they pay on that airplane? And then and one of the reasons I wanted to see some gameplay of it, and then there might be it might be this clip, or there might be a second clip. The showcase showdown wasn't 2 people going up against each other. It was open to all of America, and they had this. Most of the time, like there was like a house involved. Like they literally had a house and a boat, and like it was like hella expensive, especially for the time period. And people would make their guesses and send them in on postcards.
Oh my gosh.
And then, as you'll see, they blank out when they announce the winner of the big showcase, which lasted the whole season, right? So you could, they unveiled it early, and then it went for weeks and weeks and weeks. And then when they announced the winner, they announced the winner's name and complete home address, including zip code.
Yeah.
Street address and zip code. And I'm like, oh, so this was just a gift like catalog for thieves, really. Now, so it just is, of course, we would no longer do that ever, but that just shows you the sign of the times from back then. So I just wanted to show a little bit of it. And plus Bill Cullen, who's a classic, who a lot of people don't realize had polio as a child, and you very rarely see him walk very much.
Oh my
You see him, he's usually already where we're going, and he's either seated or standing. You don't see him walk across a stage very frequently because he was still kind of impaired from polio as a kid in that way, in his walk only.
He's on his feet for this whole half hour.
Right.
You'll
see him kind of sit at one point on a little desk, like there's like a little thing, and he'll kind of sit like a little bit, take a load off. But but you won't see him walk across the whole stage, not very frequently.
All right, so coming out of the commercial,
it's time now for the final item. You all ready? All ready. I think you'll like it. It's worthy of being a final item. Watch the draperies to your left. Here's our last item going up for bids on tonight's Price is Right. A speedboat.
Dang. That the stagehands dressed like sailors.
I do prefer the Barker's Beauties, I have to say, over the guys in the Popeye outfits.
That would have been Barker's Beauties, but that wasn't very ladylike back then. The lady will be in the boat, right?
I like this one.
What about this looks safe? Because I think nothing.
Looks like it's pretty flimsy on that trailer.
They're tilted, for heaven's sake. It's a beautiful.
Be a good look. If the girls fall out, so be it. Yeah.
Hey, it's New York. We've got starlets by the dozens.
Okay, let's push it back now.
Well done, boys. I also love how they have to take this turn.
I was going to say, they're about to hit that guy in the head.
And that's what a TV studio looks like too. Like they had to go crazy wide for this.
For us, if you will.
$4,000.
Way up to $4,000.
Way up?
Mr. Cameron, minimums are
It's a
100.
fortune.
42.
Miss Emmerling, $4,200.
45.
Mr. Ford,
48.
Miss Young.
5,000.
Nice round number. You're 42, Mr. Cameron.
52.
Miss Emmerling.
54.
Mr. Ford, you're 48. Top is 54.
56.
Going up by 2.
6,000.
Miss Yonker runs it up
weird.
$400 to an even 6. So our range at this moment, $5,200 to $6,000. Take another look at Chris Kraft behind you. And Mr. Cameron, if you're going to
This is another one of those shows where the audience just does a lot of yelling.
Yeah.
$6,000.
I say 62.
Mr. Ford, you're 56.
I'll say 7,000.
Oh,
You're
Now we're over.
top 7. This is your final bid. You may either bid
Miss Yonker.
75.
75.
Yonker goes
Miss
up to
Emmerling, you're
7,500.
62, top 75.
I mean, you could buy
may
2
either-
houses for $7,500 back then.
Well, it is a Chris Kraft.
Miss Ford, you are $7,000. Top price on the board is 76. This is the final bid if you make it.
This guy's been doing pretty well this episode.
Yeah.
8,000.
Done.
Do the girls come with the boat?
Ooh, you hear the audience reaction. Oh, $8,000.
Ooh.
Who would
That's a
pay
year's
that
pay.
money? That's insane.
If the audience would like to get in it with it, indicate with your applause how many of you think that the winning bid is $5,200. Mr. Cameron's bid, with your applause, if you will. Enough. How many think Miss Emmerling at $7,600 is one? Not as many. How many think Mr.
Oh,
Ford at a nice round?
I bet that's true, Fred.
You're probably right.
How many, Mrs. Yonker?
I just dropped the boat off on a curb somewhere.
You just drag it along on the hole all the way back to your place.
Seems to think that Mr.
I don't
Ford
know if
is out
anyone
to win. I will
noticed,
only
but
say
they
before I open the
really
envelope, I
laid
don't know
down
who
some
wins.
rubber
I will
on
only
that
say that our
studio
audience has
floor.
proved itself
Like there's some
frequently
big
to be
dirty
charming
tire
and
tracks.
wrong.
They must have edited out the noise, maybe. Didn't hear it.
Oh my gosh.
Raphael, oh my gosh.
Retail price $8,084.
Oh!
Oh!
I got a boat.
Yeah, but that's a lot of tax he's going to have to pay. That's like these days, if you win, like you win Family Feud 5 nights in a row and you win the car, right?
Yeah.
You don't win the car, they just give you cash. You can buy the car with that cash, but you don't actually win. Like that's the way things go nowadays, is that
Well, as it should, really. I mean,
yeah, because no, you can't. Who can afford that guy cannot possibly afford the tax on everything he won on this game show.
Right. Right.
well, I also heard that, not too long ago that they, if they won the car and they got the car, they didn't just drive it off the studio and gave it to him right then and there. They had to come back at some point later in the year to come get it.
Right.
And if they couldn't get there in a certain amount of days,
or they would have to go to the dealership. I would just like to mention, we just saw a thing for Whisk. And I don't think our generation gets a lot of credit for having cured Ring Around the Collar. And I would just like to, give us props. People really dog Gen X, but you're not seeing that as a problem anymore. So
that's a very good point.
And there's another solution to Ring Around the Collar. Just wear your SB80 uniform.
There you go. or maybe not be like such a foul human being. That's another
all kinds of
bathe on occasion.
So we're watching The Price is Right. I thought it would be cute if we took a clip that Joe came up with, which is super freaking cute.
It is
just adorable. Folks, this is Vanna White as a contestant on The Price is Right. This is from 1980.
And Bob Barker shamelessly flirts with
The
her.
fabulous 60-minute prize.
Oh, does he flirt with her?
Oh, you'll see. I think
of
so.
course he does. Bob Barker, who needed to be spayed and or neutered.
I thought you would have picked the one where the woman loses her top and her boobs are just bouncing on
I
national
remember
TV.
that, and I thought about it, but I said, Vanna's just too adorable. We have to
Go class here.
Yeah. And believe me, I mean, what she's wearing this episode more than rivals the one you're talking about.
I can't imagine when Vanna showed up that she ever had any doubt whether or not she would be chosen.
There it is.
Look at her.
Oh my God. Zero doubt. They
It's
want to
serious.
see her jump up and down without it.
Here he comes, the
She's
original.
got that, the Adrienne Barbeau qualities that a man looks for in a woman.
Hey, but I can't deny it personally.
including, and especially including the enthusiasm.
Yes.
Yes. Come on down, right indeed, Fred.
Oh yeah, John Atkinson. I do remember Aaron Paul. Aaron Paul was a contestant and made it to the stage on The Price is Right.
No way.
Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad fame. Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
it's great. Though I should have found that one. I'm sorry I failed you there.
Look at them. You see that look he gave Dana?
You know what? I'm gonna roll,
man.
Roll that back.
roll
Let's
it
look
back.
at
I
that.
never
Let's
did
look
it.
at that again.
Yeah, roll it back, John. We got to see that lecherous look.
Come on down. One of them read her T-shirt where it says "Get serious," and he said, "I am. I am." I thought you'd like to know that. Now, I thought you would like to know that this is the first item up for bids, and the price is right.
Let's all stare at her shirt, everyone.
Now here's a spoiler. Dana never made it off contestant pro.
She didn't.
Oh,
No, she never got up on stage.
Oh, that's a shame.
But at
All
least
right,
she got a
so-
year's supply of turtle wax.
Yes, she did. Somebody had to tell her that turtle wax isn't used for what she was trying to use it for, but it still had value.
So I'm thinking they knew that their version, their 1959 version of The Price is Right, was a little boring, and they were like, "Hey, let's give Bill an accordion." That'll be exciting.
That's what.
I'm just
It's
jumping
one
around.
of the things. One of the things about these the 1950s, early 1960s game shows is they were like, by even back then standards, very boring. Like,
Yeah.
I can't imagine anybody back then was like, "Oh, this game show is my favorite show ever." Like, it
Well, the
just
entertainment was the competition. I mean, that they
was the
watching game.
competition and how much they're winning and all of that.
Yeah.
But the pace of them, and we'll hopefully we'll watch. Did the old match game make it? No, the old match game didn't pass the test.
Didn't get that through.
Old match game from the late 50s, early 60s would bore the pants off of anyone. It was not at all like what we knew. It was two people trying to guess a shape. We both said square. And they, yes, so you win points. It was like a kindergarten has more interesting competitions.
I'm just amazed they got Stalker Channing on this show.
Now, you of course had Gene Rayburn was on the very old, like sort of original game shows. Like he was a host during the late 50s and the 60s. So I think when Match Game was using him in the late 60s and the early 70s, everybody was kind of over it.
Yeah.
The sort of, format that you're describing, Diana. And that resulted in the very perverse kind of, twisting of the show into this boozy smut fest that we grew up with.
That we came to love. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't need much convincing. I know that.
That guy's got a couple of bodies in his backyard. I'm just guessing. Art Fleming.
Art Fleming, that's right.
This is we do need to talk about the Magnificent Marble Machine. I wished I had looked for it because I think I could have found a clip. I don't think anyone would have gotten us on that.
Well, even though we're taking a different approach to clip shows going forward, we can always do a sequel.
We can try.
Yeah.
We can try. Okay, this is the one you were talking about.
This is
Diana.
the showcase. Okay.
This is the house.
An 8-room modern ranch style, one-story home with a double carport, 3 bedrooms and 2 baths.
Oh,
Now, did they
Black
build it for you, or
17-foot
you have to
family
move
room
there?
features a mahogany wood panel wall. The bright, sunny, and modern kitchen is completely equipped with a built-in
Wow.
oven, dishwasher,
State of
and
the art.
disposer.
A
The
dishwasher.
22-foot living dining room just off the kitchen with its modern beam ceiling and complete sliding glass.
This is looking pretty cramped to me.
Patio will be the focal point for indoor,
You say
outdoor
manufactured
living.
home?
And to go into your home, these handsome prizes. First, a luxurious rug. A beautiful 12
Oh,
by
that's-
15
they're
trend
gonna build something.
carpet from the looms of Mohawk.
I'm assuming that rug
woven
looked
from
better in
100%
person.
Imported virgin
Oh, that would
wool
get some
yarn by the
details.
Mohawk Carpet Mills
a
at
nice
Trinidad,
shag.
New York.
Yeah.
Next, a serving cart, an elegant French provincial design fashioned of white wood
Oh, yes.
with a
Oh,
hand-run
got wheels.
antique
Sort of
fruitwood
serving
finish,
cart
scallop
that
styling, and large
King
brass
Louis
casters.
used.
Next, a sewing machine, the
Oh,
more
they just do that
push-button
thing, Andrew.
automatic model featuring automatic zigzag sewing
catch.
designed in a handsome Lady Sherry console in mahogany finish.
The
by
Lady
Morse
Sherry.
Sewing Machine and Supply Corporation.
I'm
For the
sure many
grounds around
ladies
your
used
home, a
that
lawnmower.
sewing machine.
The
Oh,
Croydon
also-
Model
Oh, and for Dad.
Lawnmower division of
We
American
gotta
Chain and
listen
Cable
to
Company. A 21-inch
who
self-propelled
tabulated the
rotary
results
design with
because it's a
rewind
really
starter,
creepy
release
name that I
motor,
love,
hand
that I want to
controls,
write
and
into
automotive
something,
synchro mesh
some
transmission
fictional
for
something.
smooth operation.
Yeah,
Next,
Dad can go out,
beautiful
cut the
imported
lawn in his
four-piece
khakis and
smoking
his
set.
nice
Lighter,
pullover shirt.
ashtray, lidded box, and urn. All
Boy,
made of
Johnny
hand-cut
Olson
and
got a
polished
lot more
wood
hyped
in
as the
soft
years went
amethyst
on.
color with engraved brass trim. And finally, to photograph your new house, a unique pictures a minute
Ooh.
Polaroid land camera
Nice.
kit.
Ooh,
The
that's
Look at that
Honolulu
flash.
PA kit, including camera with one
My
battery
goodness.
control that develops its own postcard-sized pictures in just 60 seconds.
Postcard size.
accessories
60
and a
seconds,
leather
folks.
case, all by the Polaroid Corporation. This entire house showcase will be yours if the price is...
Take a look over here. You can probably see over there a little bit. There's some golf clubs. Well, you listen carefully while Don Pardo tells you what they're all
Oh,
about.
it's Don Pardo.
Right,
Shame
Bill.
on me.
It's a complete set of golf clubs, a perfectly matched and registered set of Tommy Bolt Thunderbolt
All right,
golf
we
clubs
can-
by the Croydon Corporation.
You want to skip
They're a
forward to, do they announce the winner on this one, or was it?
It might be. Let's see. This is the one from 1959. They're all looking at a car at this point.
No, yeah, it might be a different clip where they announce the winner of it.
With the mention of Don Pardo, I want to remind everybody that the Weird Al Classic, I Lost on Jeopardy, guest starred Art Fleming and Don Pardo.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, this one I think just gets us to
Yeah,
you
it just gets you the what's in the showcase, right?
know, just various stuff. Although
We'll see you next week or tomorrow morning on the daytime Price is Right. Meantime, our thanks to you for being
Yeah,
oh,
like,
this is when the nighttime price is right.
Oh, okay.
The ones that add up the winners is I think it's the American Totalizator Corporation company, which is under the like Universal Control Incorporated or something like that. It's like this really like Orwellian name of something, and I've tried to look it up several times to find if it's still around or if it became something else, and I just have come up dry on that.
Yes, indeed.
Oh yeah,
I believe he
Atkins.
did.
I mean, Pardo did SNL for many years.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
for
they
sure.
asked him when they got the first new cast after the originals, and then brought him back for many years after that.
Now people were talking about Beat the Clock.
Yeah.
This was my wife and my favorite old game show to watch. It used to be on GSN. It was like late night, black
Late
and
night, love it.
And
I remember watching with my grandmother when it was still on in the 70s.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there was a 1970s version. That is true.
Oh yeah, because I remember the color. You know.
But I love these because again, this is shot in New York, and it's like people were so dressed up to compete on this show, and they would put them in giant coveralls so the women wouldn't ruin their beautiful dresses.
No, Beat the Clock wasn't produced by Alan Sherman. I think that was I've Got a Secret. No, not I've Got a Secret. Was it I've Got a Secret? Yeah, it was I've Got a Secret.
Could be. Yeah, it's just barely in my mind. It sounds right.
Here's Bud Collier for you, Fred.
Oh, that's some Bud. That's
Storekeeper and Mrs.
That's some
Mars
good
Friedman.
Bud Collier
Right
right there.
F-R-I-E-D-M-A-N.
Now, Bud, people will know as the voice of Superman on the 1960s Adventures of Superman cartoon. He was also old-time radio's Superman on the Adventures of Superman radio show.
Yeah, well, you got through the $200 clock in good style, and we're
This-
going to find out.
This is
He's the quintessential mid-Atlantic accent. Anyway, sorry, John.
Oh, no, I was about to point out that this is the Clark Kent voice. And then when he would turn into Superman, he would push it down here.
In cash. That'd be worth a weekend pass for, wouldn't it? All right, we'll find out what your problem is in the jackpot clock right off. All right, now, Mr. and Mrs. Friedman, up to the jackpot clock for you, and that's for Mrs. Friedman to do. The wife is the one that always has to do the work on this part of our show.
There's the man who does the work. The
Anyway,
woman gets
the
the
whole
money.
real good stuff, which we trust you will do. Miss Friedman, will you step back here, up on this little platform? Mara, suppose you step down over there, if you will, so everybody can see. Turn around and face the audience, Miss Friedman, and don't turn around again until I tell you to, okay? All right, in back of you now is our famous magnetic board with all of the words of a famous saying or quotation there. They're all there, and they're all out of order. You got to get them back in order, so they
I
spell
got a
out the
big
saying or
picture.
quotation we're after, and all
Beat
this
the clock was
in
pretty
30
tough, wasn't
seconds
it?
from the time I say go. Don't turn around till I tell you.
Wasn't
Open
easy.
the curtain.
What was that, Joe?
I was saying, Beat the Clock was pretty tough to play.
It
was a
was
challenge.
so tough.
Yeah.
This show is such a challenge, and the challenges are kind of silly. It's like, oh, you know, I could do that. And then when you see them in action, you're like, oh no, that is really hard.
You always have to factor in the stress level too, the nervousness when you're doing that live.
Absolutely. So they got a little bit of money because she got the phrase right.
Oh, good.
All right, you've beaten our jackpot clock.
My wife,
So
I
let's
think
see
I'll
what you
keep her.
won. Just take a look over here.
He looks like 15 years younger than she does.
I think that's just that she looks so much like Velma.
Yeah, she does.
Man, that's a state-of-the-art TV. Look at that.
Oh boy. Can you imagine the crappy TVs people were looking at when they were looking at these beautiful TVs on TV?
On TV. And if you want a remote control, just have a kid. You know, he'll turn the dial for you.
Congratulations, Mr. and Mrs.
I know I had that role at one point.
You know, that was the one way they let me sit close to the television. That's what I was the channel changer.
Next.
Well, let's see a stunt.
Whom do we have now?
Whom do we have? Because Bud is classy.
Mr. and Mrs. Newton Peel from Frenchtown, New Jersey.
Well, thank you very much. And don't run away,
Oh,
Louise.
isn't
I
she
want to
cute?
tell everybody Roxanne is away for a couple of weeks.
Oh, I'm so sorry we didn't get to show you Roxanne. Roxanne is awesome.
Oh, this isn't the regular girl?
P-I-E-L, and it's 2 L's. Great Scott. Throw the card away. There's one.
I'm sorry, Joe. What was the question?
I'm saying Roxanne was the regular girl.
Yes, Roxanne was super beautiful and had no idea where the camera was. She would walk into the camera. She would trip over the cables. She had no idea how television was made, and she worked on this show for years. And Bud was always like, Roxanne, careful, Roxanne, careful. You know, she'd come out with like a China set as like the prize, and he'd be like, Roxanne, look out for the cables.
All right, sir. Have you seen this?
So I'm guessing she must have other attributes that got her hired.
Yeah, super beautiful, platinum blonde. Now, this might be the challenge. They would have a challenge that everybody, or I guess one person per episode would do, and it had a huge prize. And frequently they wouldn't get it right.
Well, this looks hard. What he's about to do.
I'm guessing they put him in that outfit. He didn't show up in that outfit.
Well, I agree with your guess, Brodie, but why does he need to be in that outfit for this?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it would be some kind of water something.
Oh, so close.
Oh, this guy's got a touch. He knows what he's doing here.
Oh no, he jumped it over.
I finally got this joke from Fred. Did she wear that dress tonight? Roxanne. Barry says this man's one of the founding members of Devo.
Oh yeah, he needs his hat.
Now, did they have a celebrity version of this?
I feel like they did in the 70s.
Because I feel like I saw Alan Alda on a Beat the Clock trying to do something.
Oh, was he doing this?
It was not that.
No, this show is, it looks so simple and it's so hard, and it makes me feel like I'm watching sports. I get excited, I get behind, I'm rooting for them.
Yeah, I've seen you getting excited there a couple times, John, tonight.
Oh, there are moments in game shows where it's just everything to me.
Her dress is stunning. I love her dress.
That is a great dress.
It's a really great dress.
That's now that's a Roxanne doll, because what she does is they have a camera as a sponsor from yeah. And so the little doll walks, and she has a camera, and they say she looks like Roxanne, but
I don't know. I'm kind of getting Talking Tina vibes myself. But
okay, all right, we got another challenge coming up. I won't make you watch much more, but
let's see if there's a challenge that motivates the reason he's in that outfit.
I think this must be. It looks like there's going to be liquid involved.
Could get messy here, folks.
This one, for example, will nest in this one. And
no, there's no water.
No, there's nothing in it.
And that's all we want you to do, is just simply nest those 6 pots, 3 on each side.
Oh, it's
And
never
what
that
you do
simple.
is
No, but you can't use your hands.
In other words, you step in this one, and then you walk over here, and you step in this one, then you come over here, and you tilt that one over on its side, I'd advise you to do. Lift it up, get it in here, scuff the 2 of them over here, do the same thing over here.
Bud, why don't you just do it for him then?
This is so hard, Bud's job, because he's basically instructing the contestants. He's hosting the show. Take his shoes off.
Yeah, because he's wearing flip-flops or something, or slides.
Oh, look at this.
You can't use your hands.
Don't use your hands, pal. Oh!
Hey!
Okay. I guess you just kind of have to hold it on your foot. There you
go.
Oh, wait. Oh, get in there.
Kick it up. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, Raphael's got a point. The setup did take much longer than the stunt's going to take.
Oh, darn it. Okay, come on. We got a lot of time left. He'll get this.
Did he do it? Did he do it?
There we go. Just shuffle on over. Oh, he's already done.
We still don't know why he's in that outfit.
My nightmare.
We may never know why he's in that
If
outfit.
you're out there sometime milking the cows or something, you're carrying 2 pails of milk. That's one way of picking up the other pails. You can carry
They
them
must have
that way
done
on a
some
cold
goop on
winter
it at some
morning.
point.
Not that we really advise it, but right now, have you ever had any friends come and do what they call sponge on you?
Uh-oh.
You know how business people try to get to, and live off you and everything else? Well, we have a way to stop that. And if you'll come over here with me, Mrs. Peel, Newt, you stay there. Come on back over.
Oh, the dress gets better.
Is even better, yeah.
Yeah, she wears it well.
Here, we bring it out for you. Now, if you'll just circle right around there, Madeline will show you where you have to stand. You have a little special place up there.
Wait a minute, there's a pool.
And as soon as you get up there,
All right, maybe this is why he's in that outfit.
Well, I would think so, but why are they taking her over there?
Here's the sponge, Miss Peel. You see it right here? See?
Oh, is she gonna like
That was much more exciting than woo.
Now it's fairly dry now. When it's wet, it'll come down.
That's a good
little
point,
mark
Fred.
that I've made on that flat in the back. When you get it down,
I'd rather see people pick up buckets with their feet than watch another episode of Woo.
And when the sponge gets heavy enough to get down past that mark, then we'll stop the clock and you'll beat the clock. I'm going to take a look at the clock, see how many seconds you have.
So she's basically going to dump stuff on her husband.
Oh, God, you can't see, can you? Come on over here, Mr. Peel. We'll fix it so you can see. Come on, boy.
Come on,
Amy,
boy.
sarcasm from Fred, never.
You just lie right down with your feet out.
There we go. This is why. Is this why?
Your head's on the pillow.
Yep.
Oh, and put this shower cap on your head, too.
Give me a shower cap there so you don't ruin your hair.
Okay, now we know.
All right.
Yeah, you don't want to ruin your hair.
That's it. Now just put your head back down there. There, boy. Can you see all right?
Oh, no, my mom had this.
Okay. Now, you remember what you have to do. As soon as I get down past that little mark I have back there, I'll stop the clock, and you'll beat the clock, and oh, boy. 30 seconds, go.
So she's trying to go at... Oh!
Let's see if it stays now. Let's see
Oh,
if
what
it
is
stays.
it?
Let's see if it stays. Let me see it. Take the picture away. Let me see.
Take the picture
Yeah,
away.
it's there. Would you like to pour any on your husband just for the fun of it? You would.
Yeah.
All right, come on.
You know she showed the wedding cake in his mouth. Pour the stuff on him.
You can sit up now, sir, if you want.
Can you imagine any of these
Turn right
games
out here, look
going
at the
down
camera, right?
today?
Do you see that Polaroid? My goodness. The flash alone must weigh 2 pounds.
Seriously, that woman's arms are guns from the weight of that damn. All right, what else do we have? Let's see, what else can I show you?
Hera's more loyal than Valdez.
Does anyone remember the dating game?
Oh,
I think so.
Hello.
It's about to get very exciting. All right, please.
Oh, my friend Christopher was on Love Connection. I should have found that
I
clip.
love Love Connection.
Look at this.
Keeping her isolated off stage
he's
in a
way
soundproof
young.
room. Let's
Is
bring
this
her on
is this
stage.
the one with the serial killer on it?
I'm sure it was at some point.
Maybe.
Richard Ramirez was on the dating game and won, and the girl requested not to go with him.
Oh my
John,
God!
Like
is that
later,
Farrah?
not on the show. Oh my God,
It's Farrah.
it's Farrah.
Mr. World 2 times, Mr. Universe 5 times,
No mistaking who
Mr.
this is.
Olympia 4 times. He is an actor. He's studying business at UCLA, and Graz, Austria was
Man,
his
he's got his
birthplace.
waist pillow pie.
Please join me in welcoming to the new dating game the current Mr. Olympia, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
If I were an ice cream cone, how would you eat me?
Pussy.
Her book of poems entitled Touch Me is being hailed as a bestseller. I'd like you to join me in a warm dating game. Welcome for Suzanne Summers. She loves sketching and
Known
drawing,
that. Oh,
playing
look at Mike.
basketball and candy and bubble gum. Please join me in a special
Yeah,
dating
back
game.
then, Suzanne was the blonde in the
Michael
T-bird
Jackson's
in
like
American Graffiti.
9 here. Who are they setting him up with? His future.
Other 9-year-olds.
His future
Number 3.
interests.
If you were in charge of everything, what would you make
Allegedly.
the national pastime?
Oh, I would make a national pastime just love, because
Oh.
I think that's a great pastime. Really good.
Okay.
Ew.
Okay, lady number 3. I've only been in this country 5 years, and there are some expressions I still don't understand. What does it mean, hanky-panky?
You know, Arnold, come on.
Well, let's see if you understand this. Playing around.
Playing around with what?
Please help me.
We might have to take a little time with you.
Man, what was their reaction? Everyone's
Compare
reaction
me
when they saw
to
him.
3 of your favorite things.
3 of my favorite things.
Do you remember Suzanne from
Are you
American
awake?
Graffiti?
A beautiful sky,
Beautiful sky.
a beautiful sky, a warm sea, and soft sand.
Does that mean I'm all wet? Number 1. Whenever I go out, girls are always following me. If we go out together and a bunch of girls start following me, let's hear what you'd say to them to make them go away.
His voice is lower here than it was later.
Keep mine, I do it.
Look, it's Judy.
Farrah, you now must make a decision. The question is, which one will be selected in your mind? The girls were marvelous, but only one, as always, gets the date with you now. Your decision. The 3 bachelors over there, unique in their own way, but only one gets the date with you. Now, which was your favorite? Each of the gals was charming, but only one of the 3 will be your
Nice
date.
suit, too.
Maybe number 2.
Number 2. Number 1.
It's easy.
Hey, it's James Franco.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he
Oh,
went in
boy.
right for it.
Oh. My insurance
She's like, there's
agent.
no way we're going anywhere together.
Oh, she's little.
Okay, and then, of course, this very famous. It's not a great video, but it's worth it. Jim Lang.
Now this I remember Jim Lang.
Jim Lang was he was a disc jockey on the air.
Oh,
That's where
that's
they
a
got a lot
cut.
of their hosts back in the day.
That was my high school prom talk right there.
So check out The Bachelor.
That's so cute.
Who's
Bachelor
that
number
little
one
guy in
has
the mirror?
won an Emmy
In the
and
middle.
a Clio, and he's a very talented writer who unwinds by skin diving, hang gliding, and playing checkers. And he is Bill Taub. Bill, welcome. Bachelor number 3 is a comedian who loves listening to the radio, watching TV, and watching birds. And he's known for his ability to walk on a tightrope and do trapeze work. Meet Pee Wee Herman.
Thank you. I was just going to bring this one up. Thank you for bringing. Yes.
Skiing, baseball, and women with an incredible sex drive are Bachelor number 3's
One of the
hobby.
few times that the celebrity was
Goal is to make
one of
lots
the
Please
eligible
welcome
bachelors.
Bill Goldstein.
Not the
I
one
love
picked.
the look on Paul Rubin's face. You know, inside he's like, "This is the best thing I've ever done." Right now, right here.
Here she is.
It is.
Oh,
what's she gonna
ignore
think
it.
when she picks Paul?
Ignore it, everyone. Ignore
Don't
it.
buy any of these products.
Buy any of this crap.
Oh my!
Oh, I was gonna wear that same outfit today. That would have been a huge faux pas. And a green diaper. That's awesome. That's a good look on anyone.
Oh, it's dynamite.
She's got a very classically Mormon kind of look. She looks like she stepped right out of the Osmonds with those teeth.
She's the rebellious Osmond.
I feel like this entire round they were like, all freaks. We need all freaks.
Yeah, because she is not stable either.
This is like the earliest she's been awake in a long time.
Okay, who does she look like?
She looks like a cross between like Pam Dauber and Marie Osmond.
She does. I'm thinking somebody else. If it occurs, I'll mention it.
Yeah, John Atkinson brought up a good point. She does look like she's tripping balls right now.
Oh, look at her shake her thing.
Look, I didn't want to get rude, so I wasn't going to make a big deal about it, but her outfit is just pretty much 90%.
It's next level. That's some next level shit. Amy's asking what makes me think she looks Mormon. It's the teeth in the eyes. She looks like she stepped right out of the Osmond lineup to me.
She's taking a lot in. Those pupils are wide open.
Yeah. She's hopped up on goofballs.
When I hear the word go, I think about when I was taking traffic school lessons and when I was driving in my car and going real fast in my little Volkswagen bus and speeding down the street real fast and trying to get over to your house.
He's just like 90% lust at this point.
About the word stop.
Stop. Had to be a date when I was about 16 years old. And the girls kept saying, stop.
And what did you do?
I kept trying.
You kept going. Okay. Bachelor number 2.
There are no good
I can't
choices
stand it
here.
when a guy's too easy. How are you going to make things tough for me? Well, for one thing, I'm going to wear a bodysuit underneath my clothes.
Like I am right
It's a
now.
challenge, though, isn't it? How about you, number 1?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
I can't stand it when a guy's too easy. How are you going to make things hard for me?
I can be bought. It's going to cost you
Bought? I don't have that much money.
Was there a little glitch in the audio? Did you say, how are you going to make things hard for me? Maybe she meant to say harder.
Bachelor number 3, let's hear your best howl.
Oh, God.
How about you, number 1? All right, number 2.
Oh, my.
Jim Lang, like, hey, when is it beverage o'clock?
You're wearing it? Well, I can't see it.
It's open all the way down.
Do you have any clothes on?
Yes.
Okay.
Shoes, socks.
Okay. Let's all regress back to our childhood now, okay? Baby number 3. What have you got waiting for me in your playground?
The cutest little sucker.
it was driving me crazy, John.
Swirls around on the top of my
Brodie,
crib.
the girl reminds me. I had to look it up. The girl reminds me of Lee Taylor Young.
Who?
Lee Taylor Young.
I don't
What's
think I
she
know.
from?
What's she from?
I looked her up on Secret Admirer, which is the C. Thomas Howell movie when they were kids, and she's just a little cutie that was in the Soylent Green.
Oh, she was in Soylent Green.
Yeah, she was the girl in Soylent Green.
Actually, I realize now between the eye makeup and the hair that she reminds me a lot of a replicant. Maybe Pris, but not necessarily as pretty as Pris.
She's got a Pris quality. I'm looking at Lee Taylor Young right now, and you're right. She does look a lot like her.
It hit me right away. I just had to figure out who she was.
I'm gonna.
What were standards and practices for this show? Amy, gone. They locked him in a closet.
Yeah, skip ahead, John, but make sure we see who she picks.
Yeah, we got to see the picking process.
All right, I think
it's got to be Pee Wee. How could you not pick Pee Wee?
All right, right after you way.
I mean, all she had to do is pull her shorts down a little bit.
She does have her charm, I have to say.
And
there they are.
Ouch.
We reached that moment when you have to tell us which one of
And you know those studios are so cold.
will it be Bachelor number 1, Bachelor number 2, or Bachelor number 3? Who's the lucky fellow?
Bachelor number 1.
Oh, she did. She picked Barry Gibb.
She's like the sleaziest one today.
I want to see her reaction when Pee Wee goes out there to say hi.
Because I like this Hal, it sounds like he's got a call of the wild in him.
All right. Well, wait till you see his outfit.
She's gonna be so happy she picked
number
Pee
2,
Wee.
and you didn't choose number 3. And I would like you to meet them
He's
right
gonna be
now because they'd
disappointed.
love to meet you. Number 2 is a comedian. He
Here
loves
comes.
music. He loves watching birds. He's also a trapeze artist and a tightrope walker. Believe it or not, here he is, the incomparable Pee Wee Herman.
Oh, thank God.
He went in for it. He thought he could steal one.
Love it. Great. He also didn't choose Bachelor number 3. He's a salesman. He's into tennis and jogging and skiing and baseball. Obviously a sportsman.
And many
Bill
outstanding
Goldstein.
Warren.
Billy, come on.
Very flower.
Oh, I should have looked up the Richard Ramirez one.
Who got her present?
You didn't win if you were going to still give her the flower, Bill. I wasn't going to rip it up. All right. Well, speaking of giving, we have gifts for both of you, and thank you for being on the show and giving us a great game.
Look at Pee Wee, a little cool bicycle.
All right, Jerry, you're about to come face to face with the man you chose. Let me tell you something about
These
Bachelor
two
number
are going to
1.
make some ugly
He's a
babies.
fighter. He's won the Emmy and the Clio Award. He loves to skin dive, play checkers, hang glide, daring fella. Say hello to Bill Townsel. Billy, come on and say hello.
Yeah. Hey, baby.
I'm
Look at that
starting to know if
70s
you want
here.
in.
Match made in hell.
From the top of her halter to the bottom of her shorts is like this much.
Yeah.
The game contestants are dying to play.
Exactly. So now this is.
Oh, I was just gonna say on when Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, was on the dating game, the dating game, the dating show, the dating game. We just saw it, and now I can't remember. He won, and he was at the point where he won. He had already killed several women. Like this was like in the middle of his killing streak, but just like not that long prior to him being caught. But he was murdering people actively when he got picked to go on the date from the dating show, the dating game.
Damn.
Yeah.
I am going to skip through the Elvira skit and just show you
mercifully.
This is a very rare. It was a one shot, never got picked up as far as I know. This was a David Letterman hosted game show called The Riddlers.
With Robert Urich, I see.
Yes. Oh, wait till you see all the.
This week, Joanne Worley.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Yep.
Robert Urich. Hi there. Joyce Bulifant.
Hi there.
Michael McKeon. Hello.
Michael McKeon.
Deborah Lee Scott.
Hello.
Will
Oh, I
be
love
competing
Deborah Lee
against
Scott.
These
Yeah,
5
Cotter
dance
and
instructors
Angie.
on the Riddler.
On Angie, that's right.
Yeah, she
And
was the
she
sister.
did. Oh, she did Match Game a million times. She was
Yeah.
on all the
She
shows.
was great. I loved her.
Is this Bert Convy? He just looks like
Thank
him.
you. Now, the first item going up for bid is this wonderful automatic garage door opener. Okay, this is of course our dance instructors. Is this correct?
What?
And you folks here, these people, believe it or not, have won over $4,000 so far.
That's true.
Oh, the crowd is thrilled with that. This motley assortment
Oh, this would have been
celebrities
great.
over
They
here.
should have
You
pictured
folks
it.
so far have won.
I'm wrong. There wasn't just a pilot. This was on series.
Oh, now
Oh, so they did.
How long did it
That's all
go?
right, because even if you did win that
Not
money,
sure.
being celebrities-
I'm surprised
Raphael?
I never saw it.
So, of
Yeah,
course,
it could have
that
been too
money would
long.
have
'Cause these
given
looking
to me to
pretty
help fight loneliness.
late show-ish.
That money would have been equally divided among 5 lucky people from our home audience.
Of course, this is before his morning show, if you remember that.
Oh, yes.
I loved the morning show. That's the first time I ever saw him was the morning show.
Yeah, I think that was just called the David Letterman show, wasn't it?
It was,
In the morning.
Look in her windows now.
it was the David Letterman show,
Also
but
with us on today's show somewhere in America, Mrs.
was it called the morning show?
Allentown, Pennsylvania.
I'm not sure. I was in school at the time, so I wasn't. I would hear about it. I would hear stories.
My
Person-
dad had a coronary and he was home for the entire summer when this aired, and he would wake me up at 10 a.m. to watch the Letterman show with him, and we watched every single episode.
Oh, that's awesome.
There's a classic episode of Late Night, actually, later, where he knew that people were like taping it and watching it the next day, like in the morning. So he did the whole Late Night episode as a daytime show.
Oh,
Is
that's
that-
funny.
Yeah.
Is that the one where he had a female co-host named
Yes.
Tawny? Oh, so there you go. Just so you know it exists. That is the Riddlers. It is on YouTube. You can find it. We're gonna move ahead because
Now this one can be abbreviated also.
yeah, I'm skipping ahead.
Of course, to give you a hint, Chris knows darn well who this is. I'm sure all of us probably do. But obviously this one just jumped out at me when I found it.
Well, in care of John Gray, the Dean's Office, College of Education, Kent
Which
State
of these
University,
three is the
Kent,
publisher
Ohio.
of Mad Magazine?
Okay, thank you, John.
All right. So okay, is this the next?
I got a picture here that you're never gonna guess who it is. Not if it took you a million years. Who is this?
That's Alfred P. Newman.
Alfred.
Yeah.
Alfred E. Newman, who of course is on the cover of the New Yorker magazine.
No, Peggy Cass.
Actually on the cover of Mad Magazine, yes. And our next guest is the publisher of Mad Magazine, and we'll meet the nutty man in just a moment. Here we go.
Gary Moore, smoked like a chimney, died of emphysema.
Someone fast forwarded for us. That's nice of him.
I just want to say this isn't me, and I'm so grateful. Well done. Well done. Yes, that's right.
792-3336.
to be
Or
clear,
send 1995 plus
you can't order
450
rodeo
shipping and
bloopers
handling
for
to the
anymore.
address on your screen.
Rodeo bloopers.
Now let's meet the man with the Mad Magazine.
Okay, guys, which one of these three is the real game?
No, wait.
Number 1, what is your name, please?
My name is William M. Gaines.
Number 2, my name is William M. Gaines. Number 3,
My name is William M. Gaines.
Who the hell is
Now
that?
stop. Now
Right
pause
now,
for
here
a
is the
second, John.
biography of William
Pause, John. Pause for 1 second.
Yeah.
If you play the game the way I play the game, you make a guess after they say their name as to who you think is the real William M. Gaines. If you ride that pony all the way to the end and they were that person, 5 points. If you switch after you hear the affidavit, you switch to someone else, 4 points. And you ride it to the end, 4 points. If you wait till after they answer all the questions and then switch, 2 points if you're right. That's how I play this game.
Interesting.
That's my way of playing, to tell the truth.
That's a good way.
That would have been
of course, this version just questions and then they make their guess.
Well, sure, but they don't play it the pure way that I play.
Of course.
I, William M. Gaines, am a trash dealer, but I am not interested in the usual kind of trash.
I actually pay money to groups of talented writers and artists to turn out what I consider top satire, which I refer to in my
Chris knows who it
magazine
is.
as trash, rubbish, and garbage. I have turned them free to do satires on television shows. Here we see Odd Squad.
This was the
And
golden age of Mad
here
right
we
here.
see a satire on movies called Sleazy Riders.
60s and
And there's
70s.
a satire on commercials,
There's
the
Joanne
little
Worley.
cigar commercial.
Speaking of Joanne
And
Worley.
we even do politics. I think perhaps you'll recognize both of those gentlemen. Our fans love this in 9 different languages and buy almost 2 million copies of each issue of my publication, which is sold for 35 cents. Cheap. And is known as Mad Magazine. Signed,
When they finally
William
stopped publishing
M.
it, it was like they were down to like 50,000.
It wasn't cheap.
No, again, it got pretty expensive actually.
They used to have drawings of William Gaines in Mad Magazine a lot. So I always had some idea of what he looked like. So this wouldn't be tricky at all for me.
Well, a lot of the artists had self-caricatures they put in their articles.
Yeah.
Most notably,
Sergio-
Dave Berg.
Right.
Yeah, he made
Right.
himself a character on the lighter side of ...
I always liked his stuff.
Yeah, Sergio Aragones used to draw Gaines as a huge fat guy with a big giant beard.
I was going to guess number 1 from just how they said their name. So there's no need for me to switch now.
That's true.
This is cool because Brodie doesn't know going in, so the rest of us, it's kind of a spoiler.
If anyone out there in YouTube land wants to go to my Instagram, which is at DJBTV, I have on my page a whole lot. If you go to like saved stories, I have a whole lot of To Tell the Truths where I watch them and then I go to see if I can find them on social media, the contestants. This might be a little too old for anyone to still be alive, but
Yeah.
I've found quite a few on the later 70s ones and early 80s, mid 70s to early 80s.
Now,
Chris mentions the takeoff of Super Duper Man, which of course was published when Mad was a regular comic book for its first 23 issues.
I don't know if you remember, but they used to do like a Christmas big, extra thick issue, and you would open up the outside cover, and they would put a little comic book, little 4-color comic book inside. You had to pay. It was like $1 or $1.50. It was a lot more than just buying the magazine. But I loved those. That gave me, they were reprints, and it gave me a chance to see all that old work that they had.
The only problem was when they did it that way, you tore it to pieces trying to get it out.
Yeah, you couldn't tear it. I'm sorry, Diana, what were you saying?
As I vaguely remember that. Did they used to also put on occasion, like, you know how they would put a record in where it was like super floppy?
Yes.
But
they had a little single.
Yeah, it's like a little single.
Times.
Yeah.
They had all kinds of inserts. John's referring to the Mad Super Specials.
The Super Specials.
And they were put out 4 times a year. And they always had like a little bonus thing.
Oh, I love those.
The
John
Super
Atkinson,
Specials
thank you
themselves
for
were largely
joining us.
reprints, but it had some new material as well. But
Kitty
you get like
Carlisle.
stickers and stuff like that.
Let's talk about this very quickly too. It is very important to the history of Bill Gaines that you remember that he worked for EC Comics. And EC Comics was the comic company that got taken down by the Senate hearings and the congressional hearings because parents were complaining about all the blood and gore and violence. And he showed up at one of these hearings, hopped up on diet pills, and was so terrible, was so bad at representing his company that they created the Comic Authority, the Comic Creators Authority, I think it was called, the CAC. They created like a Hays Code for comic books because of Bill Gaines.
Primarily, yes. I mean, there's probably others, but a little more history. I mean, his father, Max Gaines, actually did comics first, and at one point actually had the possibility to acquire Superman originally and passed on it.
Oh my God.
So went to National Comics, later DC Comics. But yeah, EC Comics under his father was Educational Comics, under Bill was Entertaining Comics.
Ah.
And yeah, it's with such titles as Tales from the Crypt, The Vault of Horror, etc.
Yes, I mean stuff that's legendary now because a lot of people like George Romero who read those comics were inspired and became these great, horror mavens. Stephen King, another one as well.
Somebody mentioned the CCA, which actually stands for the Comics Code Authority.
Comics Code Authority, thank you.
And their little logo spelled with the letters,
Yeah.
You had to put that ugly big stamp on the cover of every comic that carried it.
Brodie, do you think maybe I should go for the Kitty Carlisle color?
100%. I'm 100% behind that effort. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I could try to get her or the Peggy. Oh my God, who's the other woman on the panel?
There he is.
There's Bill Gaines,
my hero.
A big inspiration for me as well. Mad Magazine was my comedy for years and years and years.
I also love how John adopted his hairstyle and facial hair. And
that's right. Yeah, you actually have. That's God.
Oh my God.
No, but Gaines was legendary for how he treated his regular staff and freelancers. Took him on an annual European trip every year annual.
Oh,
paid the whole bill.
Well, this
Thanks for joining, Amy.
This definitely goes with 2 hours. Okay, well, we got one more clip. This definitely goes with all the stories that Chris has told us. And speaking of Chris, this
yes,
what a great way to end this episode.
Perfect way to end.
Let's take a look. Don't buy this. Don't
Not
buy
at
this.
Don't buy. Don't even look at it. Avert your eyes. Avert your eyes.
I got good fence guys. Ask me. You don't need me. I cannot believe they're letting us use this clip. And
I've never been more excited in my life.
Oh, we just flashed by the building I used to work in.
That's Chris right there.
So this was from 2007.
Yeah.
So holy cow. Almost 20 years ago.
Almost 20 years ago.
Overlooking the majestic
All those
San
CDs
Diego Bay,
I take my daily walk. That's where I walk.
America's game. Pat Sajak and Vanna White.
He looks looking like Bill Townsel, thank God.
Oh my God! Look how, Chris, you appeared in front of that many people.
This would have been filmed at the convention center.
Wow.
Wow.
Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the case.
Look at these smiling faces.
Yeah, let's see.
They want to win some money. I can see it in their eyes. $1,000 toss-up. That's where we'll start. As always, our category is song.
Yeah, you're looking very big, but healthy, Chris. You are looking healthy.
There's our man. Come on, Chris. Press that butter.
And it's flipped.
Under the boardwalk.
Oh, well done.
That's okay.
$200,000. So far, so good. Yes. Gwinnett Brooks, Chula Vista, California. Nice to have you here.
Oh my God, showed. Yeah, the folds on the back cover.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Usually done
fold-in?
by Al Jaffe.
And tell us about your.
Well, that was a takeoff of the Playboy centerfold.
I work at
The centerfold went out, the fold-in went in.
North Island, CNET unit North
I would
Island.
steal the Man magazines from my brother. And it was always a treat if he hadn't pre-folded it. Like I got to fold it before he did. It was very rare.
Yeah, it really sucked when we went to the newsstand. Like all the ones were folded already.
Oh man.
A daughter who is a senior this year, Tiara Brooks.
I'm
Okay.
so proud of Chris, man.
I don't know. I don't know if this is gonna help, but there you go, Raphael. If you want to watch the whole episode, maybe that'll cut and paste. I'm not sure.
Go, Chris. Go, Chris. Go, Chris.
Hey, I gotta say, the women in San Diego never disappoint. They're always
No.
lovely.
I enjoyed casually looking at them when I worked downtown.
Casually.
I worked less than a mile from the convention center.
Oh wow.
That makes it sound so much less lecherous than I'm sure it was at the time.
I was younger then and less refined and mature. You know you're mature when you say mature.
Let's talk about this.
Oh,
Don't
Mike.
judge me, says Mike Sauter, but I was a cracked reader before I went mad.
It's like Bette Midler versus Barbara Streisand. You were either a cracked reader or a Mad magazine reader.
I discovered Mad first, but I read them both.
I read them both too.
Yeah. I was a
Now, they started doing
big
like
fan
things
of
like
crack.
Crazy and Sick. That's garbage.
Chris, I didn't realize
Crack
he
was
drew
okay.
the folded picture first and then opened it and drew the rest. I did not realize that. That makes sense though.
It does.
I'm very I loved those pictures so much because it was like you folded the picture and then you got like a political cartoon for kids.
Yeah.
Like a really simple kind of.
Oh, wait a minute. Chris, what you got?
No.
Oh. I'm sure it was a good guess.
There you
Where there are moments in this show that are all about Chris, so we may have to move ahead to those. Let's see if I can find anything. Just for scanning.
Oh, is this where they're still doing prizes and it's not just money?
No.
Yeah.
This is money by this time.
Oh,
is it?
Yeah, they only did the prizes like in the 70s, I think.
The old ones, yeah, where there would be like a half an hour of just them picking out prizes, and you just wanted to kill yourself because there was no DVRs. You couldn't move past it.
Yeah, it was like they always had that crappy ceramic dog as a.
That was the only prize I liked as a kid. No one ever picked the ceramic dog.
I'm a wheel watcher.
Now, my dad used to always say Snurtle because everybody for the final round, he'd be like, it's going to be Snurtle because everybody used to just always pick S, N, R, T, L, and E because those are the most used letters.
Interesting.
And then eventually they gave them Snurtle and then just said, now you can pick two other letters besides that.
Yeah.
Because everybody, once they figured it out, everybody went Snurtle.
$70. Well, we're just getting going here. We got a lot more to give away, and we'll give away more of it. And then
I swear, out of any game show, I cuss at Wheel of Fortune the most when they make like stupid guesses or if you have like a puzzle that's missing only the O, like Captain John and Commander Joe, and they own it by a vowel. Oh.
Okay. There you have it. Chris, you'll start.
All right, Chris.
Is this a
before and after? Okay, healthy spin.
T. No, afraid not. No T. And we go to you, Glenette.
Yes, Chris. Exactly right.
S. There's an S. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll spin.
Okay.
Same name.
R.
Two R's.
Well done.
He's going Snurtle.
$2,100. What do you want to do?
I'll buy a vowel.
All right.
An A.
Well, there's no A. Doggone it.
You have to call it out for Snurtle during the regular round, but at the end they give it to you.
No N. Chris.
Oh.
Come on,
Jared,
Chris.
I have a colleague of mine who was on The Feud and actually won. Ooh, jackpot.
Don't touch it. Don't look at it. Don't breathe.
Say something. H.
One H. It's worth $500.
Woo!
Okay. What do you want to do?
I've got to spin.
Go ahead.
Oh, Chris, y'all almost did wrong.
500.
D.
There are two.
I'll spin.
Oh, I got it. Anybody else?
L.
Two L's.
I'm still trying to
Can
get
I buy a vowel, please?
All right, let's get those L's up there now. What
O.
Yes, three O's.
Go, Chris.
Go, Chris,
I'd
go.
like to solve, please.
Okay.
Pork and cold shoulder.
Yeah, he did it again.
Oh, that was,
All right.
that was pork.
I don't have any idea how you got that, Chris. None.
I was still struggling.
Zero.
Jack didn't think we had it.
We'll be back.
That was amazing to me.
All right.
You belong in the zoo, the world famous San Diego Zoo.
Yay.
We had to travel so far just to shoot that.
Janet, when's the last time you had a vegetable?
Yesterday.
Yeah, okay,
Tonight
bye.
at 11 on Eyewitness News.
You trust your luck?
Yes. What's happening?
Boys have a new trick
Wow.
Part of the recording.
that you need to know about.
How did you do that? So any lock people do that too?
Mystery Round features plenty of green to go around. $10,000.
I've got that.
Okay, Bannon, look to your left and down.
Mystery round. Ooh. Oh. Living things. That is the category for our mystery round. And Gwinnett, your turn to start.
Okay, my question to anybody: do you or do you not like Pat Sajak?
I like Pat Sajak.
Do you like him, Joe?
Yeah.
Brodie, got a feeling about Pat? Oh!
Hold on,
you're
check the big
anti-
guns down.
Not a
anti-Sajak.
fan. Not a fan.
I have heard him say that his late night talk show was one of the greatest late night talk shows, and it was wrong of them to cancel it. And I'm like, why are you lying to me?
Yeah, I don't respect that.
Did he
statement.
watch his show? It was terrible.
Let's paint this up black and gray.
Yeah, show can't stand him. Solder, boo, Pat.
Well, you know me. I like a smart ass, so.
Chris?
He was great to all the contestants. Hitler, he was nice to my dog. I'm not. That's a terrible comparison.
Well,
Obviously,
all of you, Pat's gone.
Pat
and now
Sajak's
you've got
much
Ryan
worse than
Seacrest.
Hitler.
Oh, no, I
Sorry,
watched
Joe,
it.
I
I
stepped
watched
on you
it
there.
too. I watched it, I think, for not a whole week. I was like, I'm going to watch it for a week because it's brand new. They're obviously working out the bugs, but there was nothing attractive about that show.
He should have been banning his coast on that too. What?
Now we're just three old people watching Wheel of Fortune now. Coach says, I never met him. Maybe he's a great guy, but as far as the wheel goes, not a fan of. Yeah, it's just something about Pat that I just don't really.
Just never. Oh, does she lose the wild card?
Everything.
Oh, she lost it all. They're gonna take the Y out of her name, Dana, now.
Oh.
Well, there are 2 Ds. Pick up that prize.
2 Ds.
Yeah, Chris. Did you actually go to South Carolina?
Yeah, Chris. How was South Carolina? I watched ABC. Anybody but Carson. No, that's interesting.
Oh,
you went bankrupt?
Oh.
Oh. Bye-bye, South Carolina.
No, South Carolina.
So long, Pismo Beach. Is that where Pismo Beach is?
Close enough.
Oh, okay. Now I finally got it. I hate myself.
Oh, I got it.
Well, I know this one. That's pretty well down
It's
there now.
desert wildflowers in blood. Clearly.
Blood. There you go. Well, so I thought it was desert wild blowers in bloom.
Well, she seemed awesome. I like her.
Well, she's perky. You know, they're good Wheel of Fortune contestants. You send all the smart ones over to Jeopardy. You know.
By the way, I did.
Actually, Chris, I'm sorry I said that. I didn't mean that at all.
I did meet Alex Trebek once when
Really?
Amy, who's now left, her brother was on Jeopardy, and I was in the audience for 5 episodes of it, and I actually got to ask a question of Alex Trebek because on the commercial breaks they would go to the audience to ask questions, and I asked him because he said he had been a philosophy major, and I said, which philosophy were you most interested in school as a philosophy major? And he said, let me think about that. I'll get back to you. And then on the next commercial break, he said, my philosophy has been never be more than 50 feet away from a bar.
Oh, okay.
We're like, all right. Been a hard day, apparently, for Alex.
That is true proof that he is Canadian. They can be the nicest people in the world, but they do know how to drink. Well, final spin. Is that what we're looking at here? No.
I'm not
Trying to
sure.
figure out how we might want to.
Yeah, it's final spin because you got the $5,000 thing.
Oh, we got to see this through.
We
This
got
is our
to
boy.
see it through now.
Hey, you got
We're
somewhere to
too-
be, John? I don't.
We're too deep in.
Nowhere to be. I'm here on Team Ruleback. Trebek does not disappoint. I had a friend who went to a taping, and Diana, I was so afraid when you started telling the story because my friend said when they were doing the questions during the taping that Alex Trebek would shut you down if you started with any kind of like
Oh, I bet.
He'd be like, yeah, what's your question? Is not a question. Anyone else?
Oh.
Anyone else?
Luckily, I was so nervous to ask him, I was practicing it in my head through the entire segment.
I mean, you got to edit. You got to be ready.
You got to be on the ball for Trebek for sure.
No, my all-time favorite Alex Trebek non-Jeopardy but Jeopardy-related clip is on Cheers. When Cliff Clavin was on Jeopardy.
That was a good episode. I like that episode.
Well, Dana, damn.
Dana comes back from the dead.
The comeback kid.
Okay, so how do we tally up here?
$8,000 that round, you ended up with $10,000.
Just a ceramic dog.
All cash. You'll spend
Wow. Chris, you're the big winner.
Chris is the big winner.
Big Chris Bach pulling in the bucks, folks.
Again, thanks to you and your family for all your good work, and it's nice having you here. Okay.
When she's very sweet.
Life has funny ways, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Chris and I have been thrust together, and we will now go to the bonus round, and he'll maybe win something. We'll be back.
Oh, don't tell us now, Chris. I want to see it.
Get your spin ID number ready. If this infinity is won in the bonus round, you could win one too. Stay tuned.
How long did it take them to light that?
So $14,000 for this gentleman. Who are those folks?
My sister Donna, her husband Mike.
Well, there you go.
Hey,
and now,
John,
the last
Hi, Chris's family.
Here we go.
Look at that cute tiny wheel. You can tell it's been a while since I watched it.
There you go with your hand.
Oh, the big W. Yeah.
Right.
A mad world reference. You got to love that.
Over there.
Yeah. Or Weber.
It's Chris, Vanna.
Hi, Vanna.
Event. R-S-T-L-N-E.
Oh, this is easy.
Letters,
actually, the little ones can be
Snurtle. They give you Snurtle.
Yeah, they started giving me Snurtle quite a while back.
Now we need some
They
letters.
spelled it
3
wrong,
more
but they give you
consonants and a
Snurtle.
vowel.
C.
Oh,
D.
Aw.
God
I'm
bless
at the end of my
John
seat.
Mike.
And a vowel.
A.
Much love to them.
Oh,
Okay.
rest in
Let's see,
peace.
anything up there, Vanna? Up. That's it, huh? All right. You have 10 seconds. Try
yes.
talking. Remember, it's event. 10 seconds. Good luck.
First date, blind date.
Fart Tootie.
Board date.
Oh, that's tough, man.
Jury date.
Jury duty.
Jury
That's
date.
something I always
Jury.
avoid.
Jury duty.
Not even Pat got it right.
And we had a big
Oh.
It's
Oh.
that's the minimum price now.
But hey,
$4,000.
14,420. Look, not too
What's there
shabby.
for Chris?
Vanna and I will
In
be
2007 money, that was good.
That would buy you a lot of
Remember,
weed.
to join
Yeah.
the Wheel Watchers Club, log on to wheeloffortune.com.
Having a good time down
And
there?
it bit you in the ass.
Absolutely, Dan.
Oh, I've been all over. I have. Haven't you seen me
I know.
everywhere?
That's
I know.
freaking
She's the
great, Chris.
hardest
That's
working
that's
freaking
one
great.
reason why I like
You
that.
know
David.
everything about every city. What's a fun
Oh,
fact
come
about
on,
San Diego you may
Chode.
not know?
I've been
Don't-
telling you all week. Don't you
Don't be
listen?
mean.
Apparently not. We'll see you next time, and then we'll have some
What a
fun
great
facts.
way to end our
Bye.
season finale, 50th
Promotional
episode.
consideration provided by
Watching Chris
Octagon.
win big. And he did.
Oh.
Uh,
Now, I knew we weren't going to come in under 2 hours. I just knew that because we're three friends. We brought all our clips together. We got so many great people in the chat. We were not going to be able to bring it in under 2 hours, but I'm thrilled we brought it in under 2.5.
We haven't done the teasers yet, John.
It's another 30 minutes of teasers.
Damn. Well, all right. We can try our best. I am loving that Mike was like, I guess berry duty. Wait a minute. From my days in the mob.
Ooh, that's intriguing.
Thank you, Raphael.
Always a very appreciative man.
Part two.
Oh, this was so hard to do, but yeah, maybe we can do a part 2. Oh Lord.
Well, I think we just need to give ourselves a few weeks, go through the clips and make sure they're going to be.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's true. If we did it weeks at a time, that could work. That could definitely work.
I'm going to make an executive decision right now.
Oh yeah,
Diana, you're. I'm even asking the captain. I'm just going to do it as the XO.
Co-producer.
You will be back for a watch party of Bucket of Blood, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, please.
Oh,
Please.
100%.
And if you ever wanted to do a watch party of Manson, I uploaded that to my own personal YouTube channel. Not to the NLE Academy, but to my own personal YouTube channel. So it's up there from 1973, Manson. It is my Thanksgiving Day watch. My friends and I watch that every Thanksgiving, the documentary Manson from 1973 for many Thanksgivings in a row. So if you want to take off and you want me to take over and do a watch party on Thanksgiving Day of it, I am willing to take the bullet on that. But I definitely want to be on Bucket of Blood. It is literally my favorite Roger Corman film of all time.
I'm so thrilled to hear that. It is a Dick Dillon masterpiece, if I'm remembering his name correctly.
Not Dick Shawn, Dick Miller.
It's not Dillon?
I want to say Miller. Let me look it up.
Yeah.
Let me look it up because I don't want to make Raphael do this.
I think like Joe Dante would put him in his movies. Like he was in both Gargoyles. He was in both Gremlins movies. Yeah.
But Bucket of Blood was shot in the same 5-day period that Little House of Horrors was shot. And using largely a similar cast, and then just like rearranged the characters and added Bert Convey. Dick Miller.
Thank you. Person who
I did miss your joke. Thank you. That's great. And I have to apologize formally one more time. Didn't mean to disparage Wheel of Fortune players, comparing to Jeopardy players. You're all brilliant.
This is, of course, the end of season 2 of Retro Rangers. We're going to be going to a very different format, but at the same time. So if you and your friends and anybody you know still want to show up and watch shows on Sundays, we will be running them. We just won't be doing Retro Rangers. It'll be different kinds of shows. I like to say that this is going to be my version of the Wonderful World of Disney.
Nice.
It's on Sunday nights. You never know what you're going to get. It might be Escape from Witch Mountain. It might be a nature documentary where they're throwing lemmings off a cliff and saying, we can't stop them. It could be a cartoon with Ludwig von Duck. You don't know. Is that Cashew?
That's Cashew.
Oh, I thought it was the duck.
She hates Ludwig von Duck. Her nemesis.
Cashew gets so impatient at about 2:20. Every time you've been on this show for more than 2 hours,
Yeah.
Ashley finds your microphone and starts singing her blues.
Right in my ear.
I love her so much. Okay, so next week we're going to have. Let me take the bullet off. There we go. Next week, the return of Joe Townsel's Dread Time Stories, and we are going to. What should we know about this one, Joe? What would you like for us to know going in?
Well, you know what? People often complain about the boring, routine, rut-filled day at the office. This is not it.
All
That's
right.
all I'll say.
Another day, another horror from Joe's collection called Anticipation, which of course has many guest writers in it, but is mostly material from Mr. Townsel himself. If you want to buy it ahead of time so you can read along as Joe reads this story to you, you of course can go to joetownsel.com for that. Coming up on Tuesday, this one is a brand new one for me. I have never seen this episode of Star Trek Voyager. It's called Living Witness, and Joe has told me a little bit about it and got me very excited. It sounds like it's going to be an excellent episode. So we will be recapping and reviewing this episode if you want to go watch Living Witness from Star Trek Voyager.
I recommend it, and it is you know what? It holds up mainly because it looks like a mirror episode. It is not. And the little thing there, it gives you a clue. Revisionist history is totally relevant today with so-called fact-checking and what have you. So definitely recommend you check it out and join us on Tuesday to go over it.
It sounds great on every level. I hope you'll join us. We're going to have a lot of fun with that one. And coming up on this Thursday night's episode of Mr. Weber's Webo Mystery, we are taking the long way to go from Basil Rathbone leaving Sherlock Holmes, the radio show, and being replaced by Tom Conway. There's a lot of things you have to know about what's going on at this point in Hollywood. And one of the things that's going on is the huge popularity of the radio show The Saint, starring Vincent Price. Vincent Price was a very interesting actor because he would play a lot of bad guys, a lot of sort of sophisticated, nasty guys on the screen. But on radio, he was using his humor and his charm. And it's really, I have never heard him play the Saint where I didn't love it. I just absolutely adore this show. So I'm very thrilled to share with you an episode of Vincent Price as the Saint that is coming up this Thursday.
Spider hat, spider hat.
Spider hat, of course. Spider hat will be.
She loves the spider hat.
She loves Spider Hat, the kitty.
I think Spider Hat and Cashew should have their own cartoon series where they solve crimes.
Agreed.
You know what? We can come in before we can do it in under 2.5 hours if we go now. Diana, thank you so much for joining us for this episode.
Thank you. It was so fun. I thank you for letting me badger you into doing this episode.
Hardly badgering. We've been wanting to do it for a while. Finally was able to.
This one was hard. This one got moved a bunch of times. This one looked like it was not going to happen. So I'm just so glad that we got to cap off season 2 with this one. And thanks everybody in the comments. You just made the chat so much fun. What a big show this was because of you and your interactions. We appreciate it so much. And I never remember to do this, but if you could, Retro Rangers has its own channel. It only has like 20 subscribers right now. We would absolutely love it if you could make sure that you're liked and or subscribed. You don't have to do the notifications. I tell everybody, don't feel like you have to do the notifications.
We'll notify you.
Yeah, but you shouldn't. Don't just hit the subscribe button. Like the kids say, you need to smash the subscribe button. So make sure you smash that subscribe button. It's really the least you could do.
The kids love the smashing. They do indeed.
They really do.
Thanks, everybody. So much fun. Good night.
Grab your popcorn, warm up your TV. Captain John, Commander Joe got something to see. We're all back in time to the golden past with the Retro Ranger. Oh, it's such a blast. They're flying high with the Retro Ranger. Give it a try and don't be a stranger. Ranger, strap yourself in for a fun-filled flight. Retro Rangers are flying tonight. Retro Rangers, 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 Retro Rangers.
My boyfriend is a chef with so much skill. He'll fix delicious dishes and I'll eat my fill. There's hardly anything he can't broil or fry, and there's so many recipes he wants me to try. Yummy for my tummy, savory or sweet. My baby likes to cook and I love to eat. Love that man, wraps himself around me like bacon on Spam. It's such a treat. My baby likes to cook and I love to eat.